let's just do some testing. Let me do all my setup while people flood in, as they obviously will. I don't know, let's do some downloading while I'm here. Group 4, Group 4, Group 4. Who's the Group 4 games? Which one will I do first? I'll do Finval from Blue. What am I doing? Checking me, I'm live. Where's that game gone again? Finval Blue. Let's do some downloading. Very confused. Okay. I have games downloaded. Should be live. Why am I not live? I think I'm live. Should be live. Yeah, I'm live. See, I'm live and chatting. Hi, Jewel. How are you? Can't see any viewers I've got though at the moment. What's that? It's a penguin on a polar bear. It's a penguin night. So, because I can't bother to get my penguin a night on the Capture Age mods, but it is very much the night mod. Hi, Plata. The lighting's absolutely terrible, but it's a bear to bear with. A polar bear, yeah, he's bored as well. He's a bored polar bear, so he's bearing with, waiting for the stream to start. And his penguin rider is getting impatient. Well, yes, it's my penguin. It's not my polar bear, but it is my penguin. Okay, I've downloaded one of the games. I'm only gonna do one game because I don't have that much time in the world, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do one of the games. Unless it's like a really short one, then I'll do both. But currently, I'm just gonna stream Group 4's. I'm changing my stream info. I'm just casting I'll just catch Superdraft semi-final while I'm here, and while they finish, I'll just catch a semi-final because I am in charge of Group 4. Just do some casting. Yeah, if it's a quick one, but not that quick. If it's medium length game, I might think of doing something else. If it's very quick, I'll cast the other game. If it's long, I'll just cast this one set. So that'd be Finvelf and Blue. I've got Age of Empires loaded. Things are getting there. I need the draft loaded. I need the map loaded. Map done. Okay. Is everything looking fine? Okay, then Finverse, if it's a long set, that's all I'll be doing. I might go through things quickly. 3 hours is long. 3 hours is long to cast, but oh, that's fine. Yeah. Bera might pop up and say hi in the chat. If Bera does pop up and say hi in the chat, he won't be able to hear me, so you're going to have to talk to him. People in the chat. What was I doing? I have the draft. There's the draft. Let me get the draft tab near the map tab. Let me get my window capture. For Excel, where's Excel? It's not Excel, is it? It's it's Libra. It's LibreOffice Calc. 'Cause I am a poor person. Has that worked? No. Yes, it has worked. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, no one tell me the result, obviously. I do not know the result. I'm trying to keep myself unspoiled for many things. That's the map draft, not the super. Now this is the right thing. Where are we? Finwell, blue player. They're next to each other, that's always good, but the wrong way around. But anyway, it's a quite easy start. They both got poles. Finwell's got Berbers, Celts, Koreans, Incas, Goths, and Teutons. Very low picks for Teutons. I'm sure Emu is very sad that this group picked Teutons at the bottom. Must be a very good draft for Fenwell in entirety if Teutons were their worst pick. Then they did pick Goths, so I can see why Teutons was lower. Okay, there we have the draft. I try and avoid, because I know I'm casting. I'm same as you, Cosmin. I'm like, I try and make sure that I have to force myself, because I am a caster, that I don't spoil anything, unless I'm not planning on casting it. So anything group 4, I have to ignore it. So game 1 will be hyper-random light. So we can think about what's happening with hyper-random light while I set up things up and set up capture age. So hyper-random light. I'm not sure. Gujaras is obviously a good pick for hyper-random light. That is just generally a good thing. Because, well, it does well in lots of maps. So, I do just generally like Berbers and Gujaras and hyper-random light. As a counter pick to Gujaras, I don't think many people. Oh, you pick them, Joe. They can't all have them if you pick them, because that's you're the same group, Joe. So yeah, you're sort of ruining all the Gujara picks, as no one else will have them. So, yeah, I like Gujara as a blue player as hype. It's also a good thing to get the early tempo, get the Gujara win effectively, as much as possible. I mean, that's the sort of the aim. Trying to get the Gujara win game 1, you're in good stead. For Finvelf, a counter Gujara pick. Any ideas for counter Gujara picks? I mean, it's more like wasting a sieve. If you know against the Gujaras, you're sort of almost wasting a sieve at that point. So what do you think? You go for like Goths? Just maybe you could spam inventory at the end. Maybe you have enough out inventory spam chakrams. Maybe something evil like Tower Rush. Tower Rush as Poles. Tower Rush as Incas. Tower Rush as Teuton. Tower Rush as Korea. Okay, Finville's got a lot of Tower Rush civs, but maybe some sort instead of trying to deal with army composition, just do tactic difference, change the tactics, do some tower rushing, do some weird things, do some Berberville rushing, anything that sort of disrupts early. Gujara's weakest in the early in the age, and Gujara's weakest in very early ages, Dark Age and early feudal, and very weak in post Imp because they're a gold heavy civilization. They don't have the greatest trash. They don't want to have to use trash. Sure, they get hussar. Sure, they get elite scum. I think they only get spear, so anything like that's really post Imp Gujaras really don't want to have to go into. So if you can survive that long, that's a good civ to pick. If you can do early damage, that's a good civ to pick. So I don't dislike tower rushing pawns, Berberville rush. With hyper random light, you never know how you're going to start off with, so that might dissuade. I think that's particularly early. Celt eat TCs, that could work too. Get lots of long swords and siege before they can get chakrams, which is that's a slow unit to take into. So I don't dislike a heavy early infantry play as well. But as Jules said, it's going to be a very long set. Let's get cracking. And let's reveal the game. Let's get things cracking. And it is Poles versus Gujaras. So I knew Gujaras were coming. It's just a sensible, easy pick, even if I didn't accidentally spoil things. But yeah, Poles, they're going to struggle against camels, to be honest. I mean, Urbuch, a good option, but then you need castles for Urbuch. And if you got Castle for Obuch, then they're going to have Castle for Shakram at that point. So Obuch don't really jump at me there. Anyway, let's look at this generation. It's like it's got coastal vibes, but with like Yucatan vibes. Like a coastal Yucatan. It's got the rivers in the between, which aren't very particularly useful because they aren't fishable, and it's got some bit of water with a tiny bit of fish. So it's less coastal than coastal. And obviously, we have penguins. We have the amazing penguins. Very, very blurry penguins. These are good attack, but I don't think they attack. I don't think they are hostile. Start with 7 sheep, type random light. Resources are guaranteed. It's not like hyper random where things could be a bit less fun. So yeah, guaranteed 7 sheep. That suits a Gujara's constant. You know what the sheep's happening. Blue player's already got their mill up. Already got all 7 sheep in the mill already. That's good. That is a good start. That's a good way of finding all the sheep. Hyper random light. It's always that one sheep which is a bit out of the way, which means that things are a bit more difficult. There's always one sheep spawns on its own, which can be quite difficult to find. But yeah, it's a good play for blue to find the goats early, or sheep. Well, the sheep or goat sheep. But apparently for blue, Gajara's you have to push deer, and now there's deers on the wrong side of a wood line, which makes things very annoying. I mean, we'll see how much deer pushing blue will do before they give up. Because at some point, if I'm a Gajara and I have to push deer around a wood line, I will give up. Apparently they were the same memories. Did they play an earlier set? Oh, this is your first match at Pulse v Gujaras. Superdraft wasn't that recently? Obviously I wasn't around. But was it really that recently? Were Gujaras really in Superdraft 1? I thought it was like a long while ago. Like a whole year ago, so I didn't know they were so quick in their production. It is a little like a Northern Isles more than Wish. It's like Northern Isles in the Ice Age, because it's all ice over and the land's risen. It's Northern Irish during the Ice Age. I do like that Northern Irish. Yeah, Northern Irish during an Ice Age. That is now the generation I'm going to call it. What do we have? We have a middle. Unlike Northern Irish, it's just trees in the middle, rather than gold and stone. So there isn't really that many resources. Like you start with a good 7 clump. Was highlighted bird, that's why I think 7 clump of gold, 5 clump of stone, 4, and you get good secondary goals, 4 secondary gold, 4 secondary stone. Good, not bad starting resources, but there isn't really much else to go into. There's a couple of 3-tile golds dotted around, but no extra stone. Okay, sorry, there's a 2 stone there. There must be a 2 stone on the other side somewhere. I just can't see. Oh, there it is. Yeah, not much stone on this map. That might suit the pole player because. Oh, is there below all the trees? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sinking behind. Yeah, sorry, I try to get you to my Northern Irish joke. Yep. But not much resources, and that might suit the poles because they don't have to do. The castle's very good for making you get the castle for Shalacta, you get the castle for Legacy, but you don't really need to get. You really have to make Obuch, and against Gujarat you don't really want to have to make Obuch. But the Gujaras, you need castles for Shakram production, and that's your sort of golden unit. Poles get fairly good halbs, fully upgraded halbs. I think, as far as I can remember, poles get fully upgraded halbs. So having only very few castles. Oh, sorry, they don't get halb. They get fully upgraded pikes. Fully upgraded pikes, which is still not terrible. I forgot they don't get halb. That is a shame, but they get fully upgraded pikes, which if you're only making very few castles because you don't have that much stone, that could really work. But obviously, poles do like to mine stone to get gold, and you don't make much stone for that either. So swings and roundabouts, both would like to have stone. And eco-wise, Finwealth has it got feudal age, bit quicker, bit slower, sorry, but has an extra fill. Going on straight on stone, 4 on stone. Blue player can see that, quite easily see that, knowing that a tower rush might be coming. Not just a tower rush, a man-at-arm tower rush. Did they see the barrack? Haven't seen the barracks though, so they just think it might be straight feudal tower rush. This ELO, quite high, we're at 1400 ELO these days, almost just under 1350, whatever, something like that. You might straight feudal tower rush might not be so sensible, and blue's not even tracking like any things. But yeah, it's going to be man at arm tower rush, which is actually just very well against Gujaras. Like I say, against Gujaras, get the early pressure on Gujaras. Are really strong in Castle Age and early Imp. They don't really. I mean, just very strong in Castle Age. They don't really get good options in feudal. You don't want to have to make archers to deal with man at arms because. You don't really have any good archer. All you have is elephant archers and like crossbow. I don't think you can get arbalest. So you don't have great options for archers that you don't want to have to keep tech into because your stable options are so strong. So forcing the Jara to make an archer range is very good. And blue still doesn't distract this army. This army is still there. Doesn't know that tower's there either. Perfect distance. That's a perfectly distanced tower. Cannot see it one bit. Man at arm upgrades coming in. Also, the forward berry is not great for Gujara. Having a forward berry is always a bit troubling, because if you lose the mill, it's very annoying. I mean, I wouldn't think Finwell should spend time trying to get rid of the mill because it's a bit of a 7 sheep on gold. Isn't that important? 7 sheep on gold. 7 sheep. That's like, what's that? 1.5 villagers. If you can kill 2 villagers, that's more important than killing the mill. And I think Finwell should definitely think about trying to kill the villagers. The scout dying to the camel scout. That's fairly standard. Camel scouts do get their extra bonuses in feudal age. They get the extra bonus damage to supply in feudal age, right? It does not apply in dark age. But yeah, killing this mill. It's not going to be the end. It's not going to be the end of the world for the Gujara player. Blue saves tie for the sheep. That's not bad. That's what's that? Because of how the deprecated returns, 5 sheep is not. It's like half a village of less than 7 sheep. I mean, Baron could be here. He said that he might pop in, but without any sound on, so you might also have not any chat on. But yeah, 7 sheep for Gujaras is 5 sheep and like 5 sheep, doing 5 sheep and 7 sheep these days is like less than half a villa, I think, at this point. So doing all of that, spending all these resources for that. All that 200, well, like almost like 100 gold, 200 food on those man at arms, that 150 and 75 on a tower, and that I don't think that's worth it, to be honest. Just killing. I don't even know how to do emotes duel yet. I haven't discovered that bit yet on Twitch. I don't even know how to do mods commands yet. So at some point I will learn how to do that, and they will show me how to do that. But yeah, we see. I'm going to nothing of Finwell's to push Tower Rush die, so we can keep making more towers, but keep making more. Hi Belgian, how are you? And yeah, blue plays also on stone to make some counter towers. We see some bit of attack on them. Blue rescued his 2 sheep. They almost made it. They almost made it home, but blue rescued them, but didn't do any damage with them. Finwell fired a spear just to any scout rush, because that's what the good actually sort of have to do. You sort of have to scout rush. So we have another counter tower right hard on the wood line. The man at arms are now on the wood line. Finally, we might see a bit of damage, but I think these bills will knock down the man at arms. And on this tower, I think this tower is going to do better, even fully garrisoned. But actually no, because the tower's attacking the vills first. So they managed. I think they killed one just now. Yeah, they managed to get one of the vills. A vill died for Finwell. Vill died to Finwell. I'm not sure which one that was. So even with all this tower rush, like blue players had the advantage of Gujara just by quick reactions, getting the stone down. This tower go down. It's not defended by another tower, so yeah, rushing that down is fine. And having to go for a 4th tower. But I don't think that'll be built in time. I don't know. Now it's ungarrisoned. Yeah, the fight blue's tower shooting down first. It's going to come down last. But now we see the reverse. We now see the scout trying to get in. We actually see some tower finally some kill. The scout's got walled in. Tee-hee. I mean, I don't love that scout getting walled in because. Now it's been walled in properly and that can be murdered. Actually, that was very cheeky there by Finwell. And losing more vills. A lot of these vills got weak from the first attack, and now they are starting to go down. So now we see the tower actually doing work. We see it doing some work, but there's one behind, and I think blue play's got safe wood, safe stone, safe food, safe gold in the back. So yeah, I think this map's helped. I think the mill, going for the Gujara mill is always a bit of a bait, to be honest, because it's not that worth it. Because even if you manage to disrupt the sheep, you're not going to get all of them. There's always some going to survive, as we did see 5, and then managed to rescue the other 2. And it's not worth that much. But getting these extra 4 vill kills is really worth that. It's a really good play by Finwell to keep going, find a wood line, which blue's surprisingly caring about. I don't know if you just want to delay them as much as possible. That might be the tactic, try and delay as much as possible, because you've already got safe wood here. It's not, so I don't think you need to actually like fight that wood line, but it's probably just being safe. Probably just delaying tactic. Try and get to Castle A. That's when Gajara's shine. But yeah, we have a 3 build discrepancy, and behind this fill is Finwell's got double full arc. Yeah, double full arc farms pretty much almost all Discumbus, almost up to Castle Age. Very little idle time, less idle time than the Gajara player, that's such excellent work by this tower rush. But Blue player's aware that another tower's coming, so this tower here is going to defend. It's going to make it very difficult for these Vil to find another option, because the further the Vils drift away, the quicker they can be. Yeah, the quicker they can be rushed down by villagers. Okay, I think this ice would be unbuildable, so if need be, they can scuttle on the ice. There's nothing that blue player could do to wall them out or something. Yeah, there's no way, they can't build on the ice. So yeah, that's not going to work. But this is sort of, these point finishes are getting dangerously far away from. I mean, I don't love that. I mean, it worth. You have the quick wall. Oh, the quick walls are in. Yeah, I like that. Good quick walls here by Bloom, but not enough. I think who will win? 5 Kajara Vils or 5 Polish Vils? And the answer is it's going to be 5 Polish Vils, because they heal. And in Feudal Age, they have a fairly appreciable healing rate. So Blue plays to another castle. Finwolf does see the castle, but now this castle is defended by the other castle, so I think blue players survived just about, because you have this safe gold here. This is the main gold as well, it's safe. And these Vils are definitely not in the right position. I don't like the Vils take kill in the middle though, to be honest, because I think it's a waste of Vils, to be honest. But as we see, Finwell's trying to build a market, trying to age up, and we see Castle Age coming in for Finwell very soon with almost enough stone to build a castle. Not enough in gold to build any knights, unfortunately. They haven't. I feel like Finwell, if we want to go for knights, we'll need to take some gold, because 3 stone economy is that 1.5 Vils in gold. That is, I think it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So 1.5 Vils in gold is not enough for knight production. But yeah, a bit slow. Just getting the second stable, but definitely not enough to make knights. Maybe go for Skype Lightcap might be the play to begin with. Okay, yeah. Blue player's got the towers here. You've got the towers protecting the tower, we're protecting the tower, which protects the resources. It's a lot of stone investment. Honestly, this might really suit. Like, this stone is untakeable. This is the only takeable stone. I don't think there's just enough stone for a castle, but there's not enough stone for that many TCs and a castle. So I definitely think that if you could tower this gold, that would be actually excellent. Tower the main gold. Obviously, at some point this could be ignored. This could be sieged down, elephanted down, what have you. These 2 palisades aren't probably that much of a protection, in theory. But yeah, we didn't see Finwell's been to Castle Age for like a good minute and a half, but just hasn't had just didn't go gold quick enough. Had to sell their way into gold. What do we see here? We see a forward castle. Would this be the castle to throw? I mean, castle the main gold. You're right 100%. You're right with the thing. Yeah, enough to build a castle. But I'm just worried about this is not enough Vils to guarantee the castle drop. Just one camel will actually just completely stop this. We see 2 camels. Good thing about Gajara is that you can make camel scouts in Feudal Age. Really good if you remember to. I think Blue's remembered to right a bit too late, but just about in time. Yeah, and they automatically upgraded to camel riders, and Finwolf really has to think about quick walling this out quickly. Not quick walling. Camels don't murder villagers, especially Gajara camels are good because they get extra bonus damage. So they don't do it good against Vils, but they haven't got foraging or anything. So I think these 2 camels are going to stop this castle going up. But they'll stop the knights coming. They'll stop the knights being around. But we do see the knights took up really. They got +1 armor. They got +1. They got foraging. They're definitely better position. Blue hasn't got a blacksmith. I think Gajara might lose. Yeah, I think Flum was lucky there to not lose. The other castle denied. I think sending the extra 4 was needed just in case. But I think the upgraded units now the Orbal can come in, and the Blues are quite far away from getting their own castle. Having to buy stones, still not enough gold to buy stones for a castle to make chakrams to deal with this pressure. Do we see a Gujawa loss? There aren't many Gujawa losses in the time. I'm sure that Zark at some point has got all the stats for how many times Gujawa lost, but I'm one of them. I am one of the Gujawa losses, unfortunately, because I made a mess of the opening. Okay, Jewel, I don't know if you're still around, but thanks for popping. Yeah, maybe if we could go all the way down to game 5, he might pop back if it will be game 5 or not. We don't know. But now we see some siege. We see Mangonel. Yeah, Mangonel, the right call. You don't want to send siege elephants here because there's camels. Gujarat camels absolutely murder siege elephants. Like, not only do they have no melee armor, the camels get bonus damage, and not only do they get bonus damage, they get extra bonus damage because they're Gujarats. But we see the Castle Denial. It doesn't matter. Castle Denial. I don't think these vills, these Orbuch and these knights are enough to kill all the vills. And camels don't do well against Orbuch, especially +1/+1 attack, +1 armor. Will we see the Mangonel go down though? No. We will now, targeting the Mangonel to get the vills. There aren't many vills left to build this castle, and they can't garrison the TC. This might be GG very soon. Okay, you're right, Plotter. They don't get elephants. What was I thinking? I was thinking there was Gujaras on the siege. You're 100%. Yeah, Poles should get elephants. They should get siege elephants. You're right. I meant, yeah, you're right. What was I thinking? Procast. It's been a while since I've casted. Procaster move. Poles get seed elephants. I was thinking that Gujaras. I always think that Gujaras are winning the game, and I forgot that they lost. But there we see the GG. And like, sort of, when I say discussing the Civ draft for this map, like, to beat Gujaras, you sort of want to change your tactics rather than play meta. Obviously, play meta is Scout Rush into Knights or whatever for Poles. So yeah, Tower Rush. Obviously, Finn has like 4 Tower Rush civs: Incas, Poles, Koreans, Celts, I think. Well, yeah. Another one. What else do they have? Teutons. That's the other Tower Rush civ. So they have 4 Tower Rush civs. So I feel like this is Finwell's ballpark here. Man at Arm Tower Rush, and it worked. It was very blue. Was very blue. Was very. Blue. I think the main thing. Blue didn't see the barracks. Blue didn't see early barracks. That's the main thing. Very early on in the game, I thought it. Blue still hasn't seen the barracks. Look at what Blue. Look what Blue's sort of been able to do offensively. Managed to get 1 Vil pick over by the fullback. But yeah, Blue didn't spot the barracks. Blue didn't see the man at arms coming. Blue saw the on stone, but didn't sort of wall up. I think if you see four poles on stone, you feel like maybe I should, maybe towers are coming. And to Krulu's credit, they did really stop the towers when they got there. They really stopped the towers when they got there, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. They didn't make any mean. They just relied on tower defense. I feel like you need some military just to help. That's what I'm saying at the start. Kujaras don't want to have to make an archery range because it's not their go-to production building. But this may be the point where Blue may have had to go to an archery range, kill the man at arms, stop any towers being built rather than using towers to stop the village, use archers to stop the towers being built. And then go in the stable, then go into some scouts, maybe just go for camel riders in lieu of Castle Age. It makes you slow Castle Age, but having something like 4 archers on the field. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm the same plot. Yeah, Blue you should have used. I think you might have to rely on archer defense. Something like if I lose the tower rushes Gujaras, I don't really play Gujaras much apart from in the Super Draft. But if I lose tower rushes Gujaras, I feel like I should have made archers. I really should have made archers. Because you always I don't want to have to make archers, but I think like sometimes you're just gonna have to make archers. And like having like 4 archers and maybe a few camel scouts into camel riders, that denies the castle. That makes Finland unwilling to place a castle that's particularly dangerous. Because obviously, although the tower protects the foundation of the castle, it doesn't protect if there's any archers here sitting there sniping vills. And then you have some archers around. Yeah, Blue tried to play in the Finland very much played into the Gujaras' weakness of a weak feudal age, and Blue just sort of let them go there. So we have a 1-0, 1-0. There we are, 1-0, and we'll keep cracking with the bet. So yeah, bear with. If you haven't noticed, I've now got a bear. A bear has popped up as my bear with. A very bored polar bear, or a very impatient penguin knight. So game 2, that will be Blue's map. So let's go to that was a quick first game. So if you always say the set's long, so there has to be a long game in somewhere. Game 2B. There was a Game 2A which was like 200 kilobytes. So I think this is probably the one which I'm supposed to cast, which is Nomad. Don't know if there was a re, potentially a re. Let me obscure my vision, and then let's get the civs for Nomad. Nomad. I see a Nomad civ. I wonder what Nomad civ it would be. This one, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Spanish Nomad. I feel like blue play civs are much easier to predict because they're very sort of, they're very much a balance civ. You got some of the good. Gajara is such a classic civ. That's such a good. Spanish is such a good Nomad civ. Lithuanian is such a good open map civ from like Lad Madness. Vikings are such a good naval civ for like Northern Isles. Franks and Poles are also good open cavalry civs. And Vietnamese, if you ever want to do some archer play, well, yeah, that's also a good Nomad civ, to be honest, because you see where they are. Whereas Finland's gone very sort of one trick, very few trick ponies, tower civs, like anything that's tower, lots of infantry civs, Celts, Poles, Incas, Goths, Teutons, infantry civs, and like Berbers is like their only real good cavalry option. Well, sorry, Poles and Berbers only, but left. I guess Teutons also good cavalry. They've got very few cavalry. They've got very few archer civs. Incas is probably their strongest archer civ that's left. I guess Koreans to an extent because they get the archer armor. But they don't really have any good archer civs, so you definitely think about blue play. Might not like I don't really want to bring Vietnamese because I don't really have been a counter archer civ because we don't really have much archer civs to deal with. That's sort of things to think about. Obviously, we see very much clear like Spanish Nomad. If it isn't Spanish, I'll be very surprised. Finralph, if you know Spanish is coming, what's the answer to Spanish? Does anyone know any answer to Spanish here? Potentially Koreans. War wagons. If anything could be to conk out of the unique units here, it's a war wagon, and Koreans get faster stone miners, which very much helps. Another answer. Look for the answers. Goths, not really, because infantry dies to gunpowder, so any sort of very heavy infantry civs is difficult to justify. So I think Koreans might be the answer here. And if anyone in chat has any ideas of what it might be, let me know before I spoil it. But let's crack on because it might be here for a while. Hey, Boos Boos. I mean, grrr, Boos Boos. But I won't spoil anything. But how are you doing? That's the wrong thing. That's closing the chat. Okay, there we go. Everything's ready. A lot of layers now to change. We do exactly see what I predicted. Spanish, Koreans. Interesting start though. Starting near each other. A lot of the fields start near each other. But yeah, blue play starting in the north, Finvels in the south. Where will we see a TC? If you think this is probably a good location, but okay. I'd like to hear, to be honest. I know it's only one field rather than two, but taking the stone's a good idea and you have the boar. But here's not bad too. You get the boar because you get boar, you get deer. That boar will be scouted, so that boar will be scouted, so that boar will be scouted at some point. You also have a nice inlet lake as well. It would be interesting to think about dock, but I think blue player is going to think about docking the far edge. On Finrol's side, we have this. Oh, this isn't. I mean, it's quite lucky they got a TC here. All this hill was finding somewhere near the goal to do it, but not easy stone. I feel like Spanish sort of want their stone, so you have to kind of work out a bit unsafe stone here. Food-wise, boar here. Only two boars in particularly lureable range, as far as I can tell. There could be some hiding I can't see, but only two boars in lureable range, without loom anyway. I'm sure someone might want to get loom and get a bit of a riskier boar, but yeah, Nomad, War of the Woodlines. But yeah, blue players got their Spanish, build quicker, got their TC up nice and early. Getting the dock up. Finrose got a dock up though, so yeah, Finrose a bit slower to the dock, but these two dock positions, they might not see each other. They might not see each other for a while, but it's quite an unfortunate dock position. It's a very narrow pit of land. Double fish here, not bad, but anything past that, the next fish is one there and the next one's there, so blue hair will definitely have to redock at some point in feudal age, just to get the fish boom, more than trying to fight on water. Whereas yeah, Finrob's got a bit more open position there, and you got the edge of the map to get something there. I mean, might have to redock in the feudal as well, but we'll see if there's going to be any water play. Koreans aren't a bad naval civ. I mean, they get the unique unit turtle ship. Well, we see turtle ships here. I'm sure in chat they won't make any sort of bets for no money if we'll see turtle ships here. If it goes long, we might. But yeah, let's look at scouting. Sorry, I sort of half looked at scouting. I've been flitting between scouting while I've been chatting. Finvo scouting has done a good way. The scout starts. One of the fields started here, so yeah, good view on scouting. Doesn't know where blue player is yet, because that's a villager scouting to begin with. Obviously, Koreans extra line of sight of vills. That's why it's such a big chunky scoutingness. Yeah, we get to see blue scouting. Have they seen from the rows? Not 100% yet. I haven't seen any terminating sheep yet, but getting there, getting closer to see where it is. Matchup wise, you can't. It's hard to beat Spanish on Nomad. Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, Cosmic. Yeah, it is. I was like, because one of the first tournaments I watched in AoE when I come back was Wandering Warriors, and I always see like all the cast of Wandering Warriors. Like Korean's such a good pick on Nomad because you get the line of sight bonus. Yeah, anything of Korean of Finrel's draft to counter Spanish, it is Koreans because the Warwagons just don't die to conks. So what does Spanish have in response to Koreans? I mean, I think might think about an earlier stable switch, but that's about it really. If Finrel can get enough Warwagon mass, it's difficult to stop that. The only thing that has benefit in Blue Player has more of the map under their sort of vague control, because this is a very tight choke point. If Blue Player rules this out, they definitely have more resources. They'll have 4 gold powers compared to Finrel's 3. You can see on the map the big gold powers. So if Blue Player could get a nice established front here and wall this off, that could be really beneficial for them. And it's difficult for Finrel to pick anywhere further forward to wall off because of how big it is. So this is sort of the natural walling point. The inlet and the wood lines force that to be quite a good walling point. So if we see if the game goes to that sort of vibes of establishing map control, Blue Player has the benefit. But yeah, you're right. Finrel does have probably potentially better civ as the game progresses. For Spanish have such quick access to such a good unit of conks that it can be difficult to stop. I think Spanish. Who do you think will get to the castle first? Because obviously Finrel gets faster stone mining, but Finrel's economy isn't so good otherwise. I think Spanish building quicker. I think just Spanish building quicker, to be honest, is such an important bonus that they get. What else is Spanish? And also blacksmith is not costing gold. I'm trying to think what Spanish gets as bonuses, to be honest. It's been so long since I've seen a Spanish. Yeah, it's just not really nothing really too much. Yeah, they don't get Spanish don't get that much build eco bonus, to be honest. Yeah. who has most monks wins. I mean, do we see missionaries? That's the thing. Do I see our unique units? The secondary unique units for each city. Do we see turtle ships and do we see missionaries? Because missionaries are really good because missionaries outspeed war wagons, right? I think after Fervor, at least. I'm sure that after Fervor, war wagons get outsped by missionaries. I'm not 100% sure on speed stats. I haven't seen a missionary in my life outside of campaign scenarios, so I want to see how that compares. But if you could like run away and convert, that's such a good useful boon. And Spanish, if you get what is it, Inquisition, increased conversion speed, that could really benefit in the end. Getting some more wagons on your side could be the turning point here. Eco-wise, we see the Koreans, more fish. They've been able to get more fish, and Blue Player it's got the wood to try and make some more fish dishes, but just hasn't bothered yet. And the ecos, yeah, it just, yeah, I guess now, I saw you sort of want to make, so you sort of want, not enough on wood to be honest with Blue Player, only 5 on wood. If you want to think about fast castle, you definitely need, what do you need? 175 plus 150 for Market Blacksmith. Was that 325 resources? That's when you get to classic Castle Age, feudal. Yeah, when you get to feudal age, it's only 200 less because you need to build a house. Blue Player's not going to have the resources to get to build a market and blacksmith. Finrel, however, does not either because they've just been solid, constant fish boom. 2 on gold for both. Some on gold for both players, so maybe they're thinking of water wars. But do they know where each other's docks are? Yes. Finrel uses fishing ship. Quite excellent. You use a fishing ship to scout the dock. Blue Player also has done the exact same thing. They're both very smart on their use of fishing ship to scout the dock. So maybe we'll see a water war. Although Blue Player's got the resources for Castle Age, but no buildings, and Finwell's going water. I saw a transport. So Finwell's hotkeys might not be so clever and might not be so on point and gone for fire and accidentally made a transport ship before fire ships. That suggests that Finwell has still got the original hotkeys, to be honest, because W is both transport ship and then fire ship on the next page. So that's interesting, because I thought someone this high elo may have changed their dock hotkeys. I have, and I'm not as good at elo as Finwell, but I've made it so that QWER is the most important units. So Q is fishing ship, W is fire, E is demo, and R is galley, and then the least important ships are, I think, like U, YU, and then I kind of get something like G or F or something like that. So I've made sure that my hotkeys, the ships that you never really make, are sort of further to the right of the keyboard, where the ships that you keep, and then ASDF are just the upgrades for relevant upgrades. I don't think they've changed. So like S is going to be fast fire because it's below W, and that sort of things. Sort of my way of playing docks, just so I don't actually make transport ships, because it's such annoying. Because if you have unbuilt docks in your hotkey selection, your docks will boot transport ships if you click U, if you click W, because they're not sure if you got unbuilt docks in your selection. That makes your hotkeys a bit broken because there's 2 pages, but not sure which page has been selected. But anyway, yeah, Finwell's gone for a fire ship, 2 fire ships. Means their goal hasn't been quite on point. Blue Player has not bothered making any more fishing ships, has not bothered trying to contest water, has got the eco to build Castle Age. A bit slower. You'd like to see more on wood as they were aging up, just to get market blacksmith. Potentially they were a bit pushed on eco. They needed to get the food on gold to make anything more. We see the fire ship Castle Age clicks over Finwell, so we see a 40 second extra quicker, 5 on stone, 8 on stone. We'll see if that's enough. I think it's probably enough, especially for that's definitely enough because the Korean's faster. See the fishing. Okay, one of the fishing ships have gone rightwards, one gone leftwards. I don't know why they've gone leftwards, because you knew the docks there. Maybe curious if Blue Player docked closer to home in the inlet. Has Finwell sort of seen the inlet and lake, and maybe thinking it hasn't, and also I think that is a scout of Blue Player. That looks like a sheep termination scout. Has Blue Player seen a sheep termination scout? No, Blue Player has not had a sheep termination at the base anyway. It has sheep termination that could have been a dock. That could have been a dash. I think that's actually a sheep. That's a sheep just gone. That's a sheep's gone all the way over here. So maybe fishing ship, yeah, but we haven't seen. Blue Player does not know where Finwell's TC is, but Finwell does. But I don't think that'll matter. Yeah, MT, no. I know, it's so sad that they've just gone blue and red, like boring people. Score-wise, yeah, Finwell's in the lead because of the fire ships. And we see the other fire ships gone round. I don't think Blue Player cares. How's their food eco? Terrible. Well, it's berries. It's 5 on berries, some on get a hunt, or some on more berries, or sheep or whatever. There's technically shepherds, but Blue Player has to go into farming eco quickly, if not. I guess that's actually the Ford Castle. Not enough. Oh, it wasn't enough for Castle Age. For Conch. Just about enough there, and that's what I'm saying, that if Blue Player can get this area sorted out, get it locked down, it's definitely a more beneficial place. Definitely more beneficial for them in the long run to secure all of this side of the map. But as Finwell has water, what would that mean? Because landings could be possible if this area is secured. We do see a dock here, though. We do see a potential redocking. So maybe Blue Player's going to think about contesting water. Now we saw some fire ships. That means if you see fire ships, you might think, oh, they're going to actually think about water now. And Finwell should really redock, because these fishing ships are really having to travel. And that is a lot of their food eco is 12 on that one sheep, and then 7 on yeah. All their eco is in this fishing ship. That's going to be really inefficient really quickly if Finwell's not careful. We see the conch. We see war wagons. War wagons come out quicker. Castle at home, probably easier to build, more villas to build it. Yeah, and we see the war wagon killing, what's that, 8 HP lost, hammer down, that's where one attack can get rid of 8 HP pretty much. No archer armor in for Blue Player yet. And also, war wagons are affected by bodkin and fletching, whereas conchs are not. So in the Castle Age, I think conchs have 6 range. So they end up having the same range in Castle Age. But if Finwell can get to Imp, then the war wagons will get Bracer. They will get the benefits of that. whereas conks do not. I don't know if elite conks get extra range. They might do. I can't remember how elite conks work. But we'll see Finwelf run into the castle. I don't think they mind. Look how little damage that does. 6 damage for the cat. It's just going to run. Oh, you could just run through it, to be honest. I know you're sort of in danger of conks, and maybe you think, where are the conks? I had to protect my home. But we do see Finwelf walling themselves in here. It's not going to work. The castle's going to be around. But yeah, the conks are faster than war wagons. Yeah, now this is very annoying for blue play. No, very annoying to Finwelf. I forgot who's who for a second. Very annoying for Finwelf because they're going to have to deal with conks in the eco. But well walled in here. That war wagon's going to be on the hill. Still no eco kills for blue play. That's just the 4 fishing ships from earlier. So no land kills yet. But nothing's come from this dock yet. And blue play's got a bit of idle time. I mean, both players got a bit of idle time microing their unique units. We see some elite skirms from blue player. I don't dislike that. I think we all would have preferred missionaries or monks, to be honest. Get some monasteries and get some relic collection. How many relics do we have on this side? Where are the relics? That doesn't help. I mean, my sun marker. There's a relic here. That's most likely blue players. Relics here. Okay, actually, relics really benefit Finwelf. I think there's one there, one here, and then one here. Yeah, definitely should. I think Koreans definitely should think about monastery. Monks do stop conks, but Spanish have better monks. So I think definitely in the ballpark not to go elite skirms. Yeah, we do see some monks. Where's the? Oh, there's a monastery. Yeah, we do see some monks. The monks gonna get monks on the way. Probably gonna get the relic first because it's close. Get some extra gold income. Sorely needed, to be honest. Going 14 on gold is quite a lot to go on for gold. Definitely more than I can't remember what war wagons cost, but it's a lot of resources. So we see 8 war wagons here. They're going to deal quite nicely with the skirms. Blue player needs monks or they're dead, pretty much, to be honest. Mangoes, you would think mangoes? I think monks are better, to be honest. I feel like I think it's difficult on something like a nomad when you have to deal with raids and things to think about micro. It's just not very open bases a lot of the time. So I think more thinking about actually monk micro is not much better, to be honest. So one of the other two, something that you have to actually forcibly micro is going to be a good idea rather than going double range skirms. Sure, it's more sensible eco wise because it's difficult. No player's going for a second TC yet. I mean, I would like to see second TCs, to be honest, just to protect. I say protect from the war wagons, but look at these war wagons just diving. I think you need to bring the conks. I know the conks don't do well against war wagons, so I think you have to bring them just for the DPS at that point, to be honest. See, war wagons are dying to the TC. War wagons are dying to the units, but we see 6 vills die. That's 6 extra vills have died after that. It's hard to see where they were because the war wagons are so big and chunky. We see a 100 vill castle. How many vills is that? 25 vill castle being built. That will work. That will go down because the skirms are there to scare them away. Where are the conks? Yeah, the monks just getting the relics. Yeah, good, well played by Finn. Just like getting the monks out. Blue player needed monks about 6 months ago on missionaries, ideally missionaries. But this is enough skirms to force the war wagons away. But war wagons are faster. We see Upseong, which is Korean's tower tech. I believe, yes, it's Korean's tower tech. I can't remember what Upseong does, but it is their tower tech. It makes towers. Is it more range? I think it's more range. I think Yasuno is the one that does more damage for Japanese. But yeah, it's more range. Look at the range circle. It's definitely more range. I don't love that tower here because there are conks in existence somewhere. Where? They're having a quick canter around the map. But conks exist, and I mean they don't see it. I don't know how they don't see it. They don't. Okay, they see that they know the sea. Blue Ray knows the sea workshop there. They know there's those vills around. Doesn't see this tower. That's such a good tower. Finland does like their towers, as you see in game 1. Will these conks see the? Yeah, the conks see the vills. Okay, but the tower's up. Tower's up. Plus 12 range tower with Bodkin. Absolutely insane. That almost ranges the TC. And Bracer comes in. This ranges the TC. That has more range than any castle except a Teuton castle with crenellations, I think. That's the only thing that outranges this tower-wise is a Teuton castle with crenellations, and maybe a bombard tower of artillery. I think artillery does increase bombard tower range as well for Turks. And the war wagons, I mean, just go for tower rush. Where's the vills? There's another tower here. Obviously, player can see that. It's not the most. I feel like these skirms might do a lot of damage. Like, might distract a lot of damage. Yeah, the towers get denied for now, but we see the manga now. We see the war wagons. The war wagons are going to fend off any conks. This could be another quick game too. I thought Jill said it was a very long set. maybe blue player finds their edge, rescues it, because tower push, Upsilon tower rush is going to work a lot. It's going to work a lot. I know it's terrible English, but it's 100% right. It's going to work a lot. Ballistics coming in for the war wagons. Even the conks are even affected by ballistics. That's how much war wagons is counted conks. Extra tons of HP. Affected by bracer. Affected by ballistics. It's just going to be insane. But these castles, town centre castles, do just enough damage. They're doing enough to the war ranks to make them really think about existing. I mean, I'd like to see monks though. I'd like to see siege. Actually, I think it's Manganel here by yeah, you're right. Count the food eco. 5 farms, 0 farms. I don't know how. Oh, there's three villagers left on farms. There's no fish. There's only 3 fishing ships left. So yeah. I don't remember seeing this fire galley from Blue Player, but that was a lot of work. That's a danger of using such micro-intensive units, unique units, using both range units. On Nomad especially, you just lose things in the end. Honestly, this castle's doing a lot of damage now. Just parking skirms in a castle. Mine doesn't even make it to the front. I mean, if Vodkin comes in, that is going to do extra damage. Look, this castle gets rid of 3/4 of the health. Sorry, like a third of the health. Skirms finish it off. Like, this is just a waste of units here by Finwell, just taking war wagons to a front that does not exist anymore. And rightly so, putting the war wagons back. Only 6 left on the field. One mangonel and 1 monk, which is just relic hunting. I think there's another relic they can get. There's only 3 there. Where's the 4th? It's here. Yeah, I haven't seen this one yet. Definitely relic's definitely in favour of Finwell's start. But yeah, the tower's now going to be a bit annoying, but just make a ram and there's no army to defend. And even these skirms are just going to make life difficult. They're going to kill these vills, hopefully, if they see them. They see the vills, but there's a mango coming, so that might prove deadly. Not the worst hit. On the elevation, survives a bit, but they're all very weak now. Okay, we see the upswing tower. There's double tower, that's the thing. This tower outranges... This tower has enough range to range the mango was lacking this tower. It's saying I wish we could see it more often in games. But Koreans are such an underpicked civ. Just generally, just because they're not very good on open maps. But yeah, they're such an underpicked civ. I wouldn't let with such good text, like such good bonuses like Shinkin Chong, the extra range on onagers, natural onager, minimum range reduced, extra line of sight and fills. Yups on such a good tech, Warwang such a good unit, and really underpicked because they just don't have good meta options. They don't really good archers, don't have good stable units. That's the only because they don't get bloodlines, don't get less armor, and they don't get arbalest, I think. Maybe they get arbalest, but if they got arbalest, they would be picked more. So I'm not sure. They must not get arbalest then. Okay, but now we see a bit more sensible eco for Blue Bears. Thinking about going in, but on this TC, probably not the best TC to go imp on because it's dying. So maybe another TC. Will we see it? We'll see imp on the safe TC. That's a good call. Hate to lose your imp TC. No redocking by Finval. That was that's redocking a long while ago. We see the war galley up. We see the upgrade to warship upgrade. Captrade still says it was a war galley upgrade, but I think it's the upgrade to warships. I think it's more the effective aim of this war upgrade. So Finval's thinking about taking water back. Sad that we don't see the turtle ships because that'd be really fun to see. Just see that turtle ship would just eliminate this fire galley. Just one turtle ship shot. But we see a pivot back to water. But the farm eco for Finval stable, 11 farms here, less farms here, but going on fishing ships at perfectly the wrong time for Blue Pair because Finval's thinking about more water play. Or just thinking about wasting resources because they're not making any ships. I'm not sure why they made a government for war play, not making any more docks. So I'm not 100% sure why they clicked the warship upgrade. Okay, 2 war galleys. Okay, I don't dislike that. Definitely think we need to see some Spanish rams because these castles are very annoying. These towers are very annoying. All these buildings would die. There's no military defending. There's just 2 villas, 3 villas are the only defence of this play. So I'm not sure, 100% sure why there's no ram in production, because you have a siege workshop for blue player. You have the wood and the gold to make rams. I have no idea what a turtle ship rate. Do you think? Do you know who's seen a turtle ship? I don't think it's great. I think it's like 7 or 8 or something. I don't 100% for sure. I can check in game. I can try and check in game. It's hard to check. It's hard to check in game because I have to go away into the tech tree. I have to go away into the Korean tech tree for 6 range, and then the elite turtle ship is still 6 range. So we see blue player and imp. I like that. Oh, turtle ships have been made. I was 100% wrong. There were turtle ships made. While I was looking at the tech tree, they made a turtle ship. I love it. Where's the missionaries? Where's the missionaries, blue? Okay, blue player's gone for Trebs immediately in castle in Imperial Age. I don't dislike that because you know there's war wagons, you know there's a castle. I just think you need to think about more land army. I think you need something to defend those Trebs. 2 conks and 17 scums is not enough. I think you have to think about some extra to defend it with. Got a triple castle. I think you can go more conks, to be honest. It's guaranteed. Get the safe stone. Yeah, get the safe stone. Get the safe guard. Sorry, get maybe a TC there. Definitely. Oh, Trebs to get rid of the towers. Okay, yeah, I get that. Trebs to get rid of the towers. Cannon Gallants. Ooh, yes. We haven't seen Elite Turtle Ship yet or Elite War Wagon Boost. Hold your horses. Do you think we'll see Shinkinchon or we'll see Elite Turtle Ship or Elite War Wagon if Finwell gets to Imp? Oh, Finwell is an Imp, sorry. I mean, did we see Elite Turtle War Wagon? No, we haven't seen Elite War Wagon, I haven't seen Elite Turtle Ship. I don't remember Finwell going to Imp. I think maybe we just did just now, I can't remember. Why did I see Finwell go to... Anyway, we see blue players, Korean Galleons. We need to see Spanish cannon galleons quickly, if not sooner, because they're much better than the Korean cannon galleons. But yeah, the Uptown Tower's gone down. It was a nice play by Finwell, but didn't have the army to support. You can't win with just war wagons apparently. Who needs more on food? Because both of them got the same sort of food eco. But yeah. Oh, we've seen so many. I love this. Finwell's just my favourite player now because of the turtle ship. I like to see weird wacky strats and seen turtle ship and seen Obuch in the last round. We've just seen all the unique units that possibly can muster. But yeah, this cannon galleon, this castle's going down. Yeah, and I love this tower here, defending against the choke point because you have to go round if you want to deal with it. Can't deal with it. Treb's going to go and push this tower. And these cannon galleons can really range a lot. I don't know if Koreans get elite cannon galleon. Let's double check the tech tree again. Do they get elite cannon? I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. They do. They do. They get elite cannon galleons. That'll give them extra range, and that'll make them snipe half the things. And taking water. I don't know why Blue Plate's been so lax about retaking water because they've got a lot of fishing ships. Well, some fishing ships. But that said, I don't know why Finwell isn't doing some more fishing ships in the back, just because you have the water control. Castle's gone down, we see everything move around. I don't think Finn sees the last relic. No, he does not see the last relic. He got the 4th in the end, but it's not. The next thing would be such a good snipe. And I feel like with a good navy and a good castle defense, I feel like it'd be difficult to stop a relic countdown. But I don't think we've seen a relic countdown go to completion. I've seen a castle relic countdown, or I've seen a castle relic countdown, but they resigned before because they know they couldn't stop it. So yeah, I don't think I've seen a relic to actually go to full completion yet. Okay, we actually see an actual proper fire ship. So yeah, Blue Player has gone the warship upgrade. Fire ships, I mean, you need more numbers than that to be honest to defeat a turtle ship. Turtle ships have very good anti-fire armor. So yeah, I mean, focusing on the. I mean, if they actually attacked the fire ship, it would have done well. But yeah, the turtle ship's got on full eat mode. Okay, the fire ship, yeah, that's good. Just gone down. Apparently a fire ship survives 2 hits from a cannon galleon. Always good to know. Just has enough. Not having the skirm upgrade. I swear they were elite skirms. They are elite skirms, but you're thinking bracer and archer armor. Yeah, that'd be so important because the Koreans got both of them. What's the scum's range? With a brace, you would outrange war wagons and be so useful. And then they're just bringing scums into the meat grinder. Castle here, it's a safe castle. Will it be denied? Will it not be denied? If it's denied, that'll probably be GG. If this gets denied, look at the villains of Finland, 96 eco. This is the castle denial to call the GG. I think. But you can't stop the bomb. You can't stop the ships. The docks are going down. There's nowhere safe to redark. Yeah, GG's called. You just got Bodkin. Okay. Yeah. GG's called. Another victory for Finvelf. Whoops. I mean, we sort of were right that Koreans are the best answer to Spanish, but there was a chance where Blue Player had the game. To be honest, it was just a bit lacking in water play. I feel like both players were water at the wrong at alternate times. So Finwave got the early water just to try and clear, see if there was a big fish boom going. It wasn't a fish big boom. Spanish got to Castle Age first, but Koreans don't care because war wagons beat conks. But we didn't see any monks. We didn't see any monk play. We didn't see any like ram play, ramming down the buildings. Having to go to imp to get rid of those buildings is a bit too much of a waste of resources, almost a waste of time. If anything, you need to just make a quick ram and just ram all those towers down and just use some skirms to protect the vills. Because what can anything like Finweb have do against rams really? You have a mangonel, but then you have things to do. Yeah, you can make your own mangonels from the same seed workshop. Okay, great. This is group four. This is about just under 1400 elo. Just under 1400 elo. Generally is the ballpark for this group. And then it's Elite War Wagon Cosmin. Yeah, just like so. Elite Starship didn't come, and you have Elite War Wagon was on the way. Yeah, they're both on just under 1400, I believe. I think they may have approached it at one point. I can't remember. I think Finwell was a bit smurfy, doesn't play too much, so I think he's probably good enough to be around 1400 if he went on the ladder. But yeah, I think there's definitely chances of Blue Player to win if you've gone hard on water, stopped, massed some ships against the turtle ships, protected the castle, had ships to protect against cannon galleons. It went cannon galleons themselves. Spanish cannon galleons absolutely insane. If you get the ballistics, because they're affected by ballistics, absolutely insane. Didn't get ballistics in the end, but that would be definitely something to think about. Honestly, gone for a bit more boomy approach may have worked as well. Spanish vills you can't deny the effectiveness of Spanish vills if you get supremacy and things like that. The vill push could be a thing, and it could stop a lot of pain. But yeah, look, 99 vills on 2 TCs. Pretty much 3 TCs. Sorry, 3 TC boom behind naval and land control is absolutely unbeatable. Let's look at the relic gold because someone's asking about that. 2,000 golden relic. I mean, it's still, look at the differences. That's only like, even without that relic gold, Finland still had so much more gold, so much more wood, so much more gold. Relic gold was, I mean, doubled the difference pretty much almost. It's such an important thing to think about relics, and that was very much out of Blue's favour. Blue had always just spawned here with only one relic to control. I know you just scouted it in the end. So yeah, definitely bad luck on Blue's part, but didn't even make a monastery, so shouldn't feel too bad about that map start because didn't even make a monastery to think about converting anything. So, I mean, that's the Spanish strengths: conks and conk and donk. Conk and Donk is the strength really in a lot of Spanish play. The conks obviously die to war wagons, but the monks don't. The monks and missionaries don't die to war wagons. So I feel like that was always the play: get Inquisition, and then go to focus on the monk play, and that really makes Finwell think we have to go light cav. Well, Koreans don't get good light cav. Or Hussar. I think they have the worst on the game, isn't it? Koreans, they just get Hussar, but they don't get any upgrades for it. Yeah, the worst hustle in the game. And what else do you think? Well, archery, well, he has to force Koreans into archery. That includes a barracks and archery range. There's a lot of things to take into if you go monks. If you go Spanish monks, it's a lot of things to think about. So I feel like monks was the play. It was a bit, yeah. Spanish eco was a bit too tight. I think Blue made a bit too tight for their eco, just a touch. It was lacking their buildings to actually you couldn't get the market and blacksmith down so quickly. Struggled on the conk production, but then obviously stopped because the war wagons got produced. I did like the castle here. It was a good castle. It was the best, very good castle position for the Castle Age. Stopped any sort of war wagon push, and at the end of it, at the end of Castle Age, these war wagons were actually they were just walking into death. But I feel like maybe some walls would have been a good idea. Like Finland did really good walling here, just to wall out, force the conquest into the castle, wall out for an eco death, and yeah, Blue lost a lot of vills over their TC because look at the eco KD, 29 vills lost to 7. I mean, 12. I think it's 12-4 fish wise. Finland lost 12 fishing ship. Blue lost 4 fishing ship. But look at how many. That's how many vills died. I feel like walling that off would have been the play to do what Finwell did in return. Also stopped any tower. If you're able to, because this is such a good castle checkpoint, if you're able to get wall there, and then if the time arises to wall here, obviously it's difficult war and constantly streaming in. But if you're able to get some sort, even like a building wall that's big enough to like get like a market wall, something like some sort of big 4x4 building, just to sit there and then palisade at the end, just to stonewall the end, just to like stop the push and protect your eco. But obviously it's very difficult to do that with war wagons constantly streaming past your face, because they don't care about this castle here, and they just came around the corner here instead. So yeah, it was unlucky for blue player. Finwell definitely played much better. I mean, arguing with the better Civ, so well rationalised for Finn's Civ pick there to go for the good answer towards Spanish. Nobody is Chaos. I do know that because that's when I played. We played. I mean, I think we played each other on Nomad Cosmo. I can't remember. Was that our first game? I had the Castle Denial that cost me the game. What am I doing? Quick game. Load of replays. Return to replays. Game 3 it is. Let's look at game 3. That's going to be Land Madness. So Land Madness, which I believe is going to be. It's going to be yeah. Oh no, Nomad was Finwell's home map, so Blue Pair opted to pick Finwell's home map first. Now picking their home map, Land Madness. So that's an interesting strat to pick your opponent's home map, because picking your opponent's home map is an interesting theory, because you sort of want to make. If you have a chance to win, it's always good to have a chance to win. I guess because Blue Play likes Spanish. Spanish is always a good Nomad Civ. It's not going to be Gujaras empty, because we saw Gujaras in game 1. So I'll go to Excel and just cross out the Civs which have already been picked. Ugh, where am I? There. Yeah, I'll cross out Gujaras, cross out Poles for Finval, cross out Koreans and Spanish. Just in case, because you didn't see the first game. It was Poles v Gujaras and Finval Tower Rush, the Gujaras to death, pretty much. Tower Rush into Castle Drop. So we have Land Madness. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Burbard is going to be the clear Land Madness pick. It's a perfect anti-Land Madness Civ pick, because you think if it's good Land Madness Civs like Mongol, especially before the Indian expansion, things like Mongols and Huns with camel archers to hurt them. Things like Franks and Teutons and Lith as camels to stop them. So camels and camel archers really stops any sort of perfect anti-Land Madness Civ pick. Obviously, Berber's going to be beat on Land Madness by Gujaras, but they've already been picked. So Blue Player is struggling to pick with Gujaras already gone. It's going to be Lith or Franks, or Poles not so well, because you don't really having to build 4 arcs, and there's no safe stone. Yeah, Blue Player doesn't have any camel civs left, and sort of danger which I had in my draft as well, because I drafted before I recognised how good camel civs are. All I had in my camel civs was Gujaras. I think I had Tatars, but okay, I had Gujaras and Tatars in my camel civs. But yeah, Blue Players run out of camel civs, which is very difficult to deal on Land Madness, because you sort of want some answers tonight, especially if Finwell goes like Teutons. But then Teutons also wins against Franks and Lith to an extent, but particularly Franks, maybe not so much Lith, but definitely Teutons definitely beats Franks. There's also an option that Finwell can go to, but I definitely like Berbers as the clear Land Madness pick. I think MT is onto something there. For will we see Franks or Lith? What are the other matches? Let's look at the other maps in the map pool. It's Fosse and Low Tide. I definitely prefer Fosse for Lith. So the Grand Fosse, I definitely feel it's going to be a Lith pick. I definitely feel like the stronger option there. So maybe Franks here, Lith and Fosse and Poles. Sorry, Lith and Low Tide and Poles and Fosse. That's probably might be the option that Blue Play is thinking of. I think Poles were a good Fosse civ. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had much success with Poles and Fosse, but I'm not a good Fosse player. I did win my playoff, which you're not going to see. I won with Sicilians against Britons on Fosse, which is an excellent match, which we can't watch because of the patch, sadly. It was an absolutely wonderful match where there was base trade, our ball versus castle. I managed to get the castles. I managed to guarantee all the stone for Sicilians. I kept dropping castles everywhere in front of. I castle pushed Lawler's base. Castle drove well, and I managed to, and then I got into Cavalier. Halberd, I didn't get Halberd in the end, but I got good Cavalier. I got Cavalier into killing all the trebuchets. So all Lawler was left with a big ball of arbs killing all my villagers. I had no. He resigned, but I had 0 on wood, no market, and no really good access to all my wood ridges are running away, and I had like 50 wood. I had no market and no way of getting wood. But Lorna resigned because all they had was an arbor against 6 castles, and I had enough cavalier to kill all of his eco. I wish I could have been casted, but then the patch happened. It was such a shame. I mean, I'm not a good Fosse player though, Bo. But you saw I got I got 2 of my boards got lamed. I'm not a good Fosse player, so I wouldn't. I'd be perfectly happy if you'd ban something else. But anyway, Berbers. I'm thinking Frank Berbers, just because it's because the other maps in the pool. So and surprise, surprise, you're right. I mean, I actually saw Berber pick and I heard the Frank noise in my earphones. So unfortunately, I was a bit spoiled. Yeah, it was just a map draft. The map draft isn't too much of a spoiler for me and Bruce Bruce. Yeah. I didn't know why you banned. I just feel like you just didn't like Fosse, to be honest. That's all. Like you didn't, because I don't like Fosse. I don't. I don't. If I sometimes if I want to ban it, I would ban it. I think if I'd had 2 bans, I probably would have banned Fosse, but we only had 1 ban. I think you need something sort of like you need something sort of patch code, but it's not easy to get a patch code how you watch games before update. But I think Blue Player did manage to not make his laptop update. So if anyone to ask, it's something like Blue Player, maybe Lucas, or people who I think haven't hadn't updated their game, but they may have updated the game since then. That's the thing. So obviously Blue Player has played Finvalve since the patch, so we actually have to have an updated game for that. So I don't know how it's going to work. Well, yeah, in my game against Belgium, I accidentally went the wrong way. Belgium secured the stone from me, so I couldn't do that. I was poles that time, but if you manage to get the stone, you're in a really good place. If you lose the stone, you're in a really bad place. So if you ever play Grand Fosse, anyone who's still left to play, always think about always know which side the stone's on, and if you have to escape or build, go there because it's so important. Okay, there's a game over. Why was the game over? Something's gone wrong. Yeah, it wasn't my fault. It might be my fault, but the game's gone. The game's crashed. Okay, the game has crashed. Let me try things again. I don't know why it's gone. Major Empires are just like... That is interesting. Oh. Let's try again. I don't know why things again for me. That's just impulse. Okay, that's the wrong map. Why? What? Sorry. Okay, that is weird. On game 3. Okay, I think I got confused what map we're on. Maybe I was glad I picked it. Okay, now we're on the correct one. I'm sorry. You didn't see. I didn't see. I wouldn't spoil myself for either things. Okay, let me get to where we were, which is about 2 minutes in, and see if it does the same thing again. So if it does the same thing again, then I'll think about I might have to restart something. Okay, it's broken again. Okay, let me just check the rec. That is interesting. It should be long. It's a 3.82 megabyte gig. Okay, let's re-download it. Is it? That is interesting. I'll restart Capture Age, I'll restart Age of Empires in case that's a bit broken. Okay, I've re-downloaded it. Let's download it again. Okay. Definitely feels like my Age of Empires really crashed. So let's load it a third time. Let's load it again. Okay, this one instead. And let's go back to 238. If not, I'll just have to restart Age of Empires. Yeah, aggressive clicking because it says like error in the game, world map timing. I'll actually show you the age. If it crashes again, I'll show you what happens when it gets to it. Okay, I'll show you what happens. I'll show you what I see when it happens. Let me open that. It does this. Overplaying, replaying, start world time. This is why I'm aggressively clicking. Anyway, let's reopen Age of Empires. Let me just reopen it. Let's close Age of Empires and reopen it again. That is a strange thing. Let me close Capture Age as well. Let's reopen both of those. Very strange. Hope it hasn't something that hasn't broke again. I can't remember. You're playing again. Your Chinese Goth thing. I do remember that game. I saw that privately. Your first Superdraft game. Your first Superdraft 2 set. I mean, yeah, I think basically she sort of suffered because she'd been panicking when weird things happen. Like you lost against Lawler and Mono because you panicked because he weren't taking fish and got really confused. So you got panicked when you saw Goths on a map, which Goths shouldn't really do very well in. On paper, anyway, because they're a bit too late game for something so early as Fossing. I hope I'd panic you a bit. Okay, I've got Age of Empires loaded again. Let's see how things. If the replay is bugged for some reason, then I'm gonna have to like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if the replay's bugged. I guess we just have to move to game 4 if there was a game 4. That's what I have to do. As if the replay bug, it's sort of just for ruin the cast. Okay, I've loaded it. I've got Capture Age back up again. Let's go back to 238. And if it goes, I guess we have to find a solution. I might at Finwealth because he's around. Yeah, it's bugged. It's bugged. Let me. That's annoying. That's very annoying. In theory, Berber should win this, but if it's a game 4, it doesn't. I haven't seen that sort of bug before, where the error of replaying game, replaying stopped. I'll show you on the. I haven't seen this bug before. Error of replaying stopped. Anyone in the chat has any solutions? That is always very good. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to. No, I haven't seen it before. I restarted my Age of Empires. I restarted Capture Age. I've also re-downloaded the replay in case that was bugged. It's definitely longer. It's definitely not a re because it's got a good size. It's got a good megabyte. It's got a good megabyte size. It is 3 megabyte file. It should be fine. It shouldn't be a re. Yes, 3.82 megabytes. Downloaded it twice. Not sure why that's an issue. I guess the option would be to pretend. Okay, one thing I could do is. replay game 2 to see if it's a Capture Age or Age of Empires 2 problem, and if it's not a rec problem, if it's just Capture Age. Because even at the end of the score, like at the bottom right, you can still see the score between the two players, even though I'm left the screen. That's how weird it is. Okay, let's load game 2 again. And see if that works. I mean, I could do that. If it does this game work fine? Yeah, this one game works fine. Sorry, a bit annoying. I haven't put Capture Age. I haven't done that. Okay. I can find blues. I'll find Blue's stream, and then we'll go from there. There might be something to do. Where's Blue's stream? I mean, I could just see. I might just watch the. We might just put the game on like fast speed in the background just to see what happens. I don't think I'm gonna like full cast it or anything, but because it'd be difficult to a POV cast.
Let's see. Let's just try and get one game in. Come on, here we go.
Okay, let me just get things ready. Okay, let's open a new display window capture. Okay, yep.
Something.
Okay, here we have the game. We'll just go through this at a brisk pace.
Go to the back.
And we'll mute it. Okay. So we have the game. It's Land Madness. Fortunately, we have technical issues. I'm just going to load. I'm going to load the game on Capture Age and just have it. I just have a look at the resources. But yeah, let's look at the stream. Oops, it's very difficult how to do it there. Okay. Sorry, it's difficult doing. I keep wanting to scroll out because I just scroll through YouTube. Okay, so we have blue player in the south, Franks. Sorry, blue player. That's what we're having to do. We run like almost ×2 speed. We're just going to go. Blue does a baller, doesn't lose the ball. All good, all good. 3 on wood. Rest on food. Getting some scouting in. I have a feeling that blue might win this one, but we'll just rock through and see how he does this. Baker is a game 4, and I accidentally loaded it on low side. So I feel like because I accidentally loaded a game 4, game 5, or one of those. I can't remember which one of those. Because I accidentally loaded a game on low tide, I think that's a good sign that there's another game happening. Also, the length of the YouTube video is longer than this game, so I definitely feel like there is another game happening. Let's just see how if blue does win it, how he does win it. I mean, blame Finwelf because I think he put the Rex in chat that he broke the game. That's what we'll do. Okay, accidentally something's not working. I don't know what that was. Maybe I have to have the game open. I don't know why it went black screen for a second. I don't know why. I think I accidentally did something. And my apologies if I did anything. Blue's going up to feudal age. Oh, hasn't quite skin. We know where Finwell is in the north a bit because we saw at the start on the Capture Age. That blue's in the north. Get to feudal age, get the barracks gone, walling in their villas, all nice and nice. Double lumber camp. I don't love the double lumber camp because it's more work to wall in, but if it works, it works. It makes it more efficient, but it makes you have to think about keep walling everything. See the stable. Blue player sees Finn. Does not see any man at arms. Not expecting to see any man at arms. Oh no, 20 pop. You're right, MT. Not got the most perfect Frankish eco you could. But getting some farms out early. You like to see early farms. It's always good to have resources under TC because, like I said, like I always say for Land Madness Land Madness casts, you sort of need one spear for every 2 scouts for every undefended resource. So blue has the berries which are undefended and the wood line in the right which is undefended. So you sort of need one spear for every 2 scouts that might do damage to them. And blue's been really good at making spears. Two at the wood line, 1 at the berries, another one maybe good to have another one on the way. But soon the wood line will be protected and blue doesn't need to put their spears there anymore. And obviously, as more scouts come, we don't know if it's going to be a big scout game or a small scout game. We'll see. Blue's got 3-4 scouts on the go. Do we see any Berber scouts anywhere? Not yet, but Finrev's already eaten the berries, which is good play by Finrev, not to already eat the berries. That's one less defender resource to think about. Tries to go in the wood line. The spears are there. Perfectly good spear work. Finrev's actually walling, which is interesting to see. Maybe he has a really good wall setup. Difficult to wall on this map because of the unwallable terrain. But if you can wall around a wood line, for example, like Finrev's doing in that corner, it can really work. And there aren't many good map gens you can do that with. So if I'm speaking quickly, I just see the game going really quickly and speak quickly to match it. So we see Market Blacksmith. Market's always good in this game, in this Land Madness, because you're always floating wood. You're always floating wood because you have so much on safe land. Market's always a good idea. Not only could you spend your wood, but also to sell some of it for gold. See a scout go down, spears fine. Now the gold's another undefended resource that blue has to think about putting spears on to defend, but now the wood line in the north is now fully defended. So good work by blue to keep his spears in the right position, make sure that scouts do no damage, and these wood lines are such that you aren't going to get much of an overchop. So yeah, Finrev was very walled in, which is a very interesting strat. Very dangerous against Franks because Franks get cheaper castles, so it's always risk and warning that you just get castle drops on your face. So will we see a castle drop? We don't know, but it makes you very safe from undefended. Oh, that's actually like so disgusting walls by Finrev. Perfectly walled in that wood line. That's such a good map gen. If you can get away with that, it's absolutely amazing. If you're a civ that doesn't like feudal age pressure, something like Gujaras, but it doesn't really like feudal age aggression, just has no reason to take hunt, for example. We don't see blue taking many berries though. Franks get the berry bonus. I think it's always worth maybe think about taking some extra berries. That could be more of a castle age thing. Get the safe eco under the TC first, then think about castle age. Think about some Castle Age TCs, maybe getting some berries and stone and gold. Like, that's a nice place for a TC there, right? Oh, that's stone and berries. Obviously, that's on Finrev's side. Second stable coming in for Castle Age. You like to see it. It's always good to get production bonus as you go on the way up, making you double knight production. Eco's in such a good place for making 4 knights, I think. Triple I don't know if he has the eco. Doesn't have enough on gold for triple stable production though. Only 4 on gold. I think you need a bit more to make more knights, even with Franks. Probably need a bit more, but yeah, the scouts. I mean, good decision by blue not to make any more scouts. Seeing the walls, no point making more scouts, not going to get any damage. Making spears is still good though, because you never know what's coming. You never know if the other player's making like a billion scouts. We see blue play going up first. The walls are expensive. That's the only downside about walls. They are expensive, and it's difficult to actually. I mean, you need a bit more, relatively more on wood than you would otherwise need. But also think about walling yourself in. You make yourself very open to pushes, and here we see a siege push by blue. Second scout by the Finrel, so looking to go up. Maybe a third stable by Finrel. We don't know how many stables they've got, unfortunately. Siege monk push, it seems to be. I mean, I would love to see a castle. Get the stone. There's some safe stone in the right, I believe. I think, or even the north. There's definitely some safe stone somewhere. There's actually a wallable place based by both of them. Got potentially wallable bases. Very interesting generation. But we see a siege monk push. I mean, I like to see it. This might be a quick game if it pans out. That stable's getting really down. Only just up to Castle Age, and we already see 8 knights on the field. It's hard to tell because I'm not. Oh, yeah, 8 knights. There's just a control group. Blue's been very nice with our control group. 9 knights. So every time I sort of move, I sort of reveal how long the video is. I'm trying to avoid doing that. Hi Krita, you sort of want 6 villagers for every knight on gold. It's roughly is what you need. Roughly 6 mils for stable for gold. If you want to constantly produce knights, as we see, like 7 and gold can only make a knight one, can only keep one stable producing, and just hasn't bothered making more knights. I mean, spears has a good chance. Usually against pikemen, I think it's spears and pikemen are. You're against camels, so spears and pikemen are such a good idea. But the knights are in the stables down. It's not even bad that's the stable. It's also breaking through in by killing the production building. It's so evil. I love it. And now the woodland's completely exposed. And Finland hasn't been able to make any TCs. That's the thing. No more TCs. Unable to do anything like that. I just hope that there are other games could be casted. Otherwise, we're just watching Blue's YouTube for the entirety of the game. Yeah. Selling resources is a good idea. Selling wood maybe, because you always want to be making. You've got. But yeah, TC on goal is a good idea. But this is a 1 TC all in play. It's a 1 TC all in defense by Finbar from the looks of things. I can't see if he's established anywhere else. But the camels are on the move. Oh, that's a lovely mangonel shot. That is. That's a lovely mangonel shot. Camels on the move. Yeah, another lumber camp. Oh my, yeah. No on stone though. I don't know what he spent his stone on. I think he just sold the stone to make knights, unfortunately. So it's definitely 1 TC all in play. But I think, like I said, I think it's both sides are very much focusing on 1 TCing, because if your opponent's 1 TC, you sort of have to match it, because they're going to outproduce you. They're going to outproduce military otherwise. The camels are doing really good damage against the pikes though. The score is closing up in Finn's favour. That siege workshop might go down soon. That monastery might go down soon. Difficult to get that many pikes going. And that eco damage that Blue Player did is it's going to be mitigated as Finn keeps rewarning. You can't keep doing that. Lovely quick rolls here by Blue though. Get all the pikes in the right position. The camels don't see the gold though. They might not know it's there. They might think finding a way around to get to the eco. Knights come in to follow. They're the thing that does the damage. There's quite a lot of cavalry here in Himmel's hands, and Blue Page has gone full pike defense, or pike defense into maybe pike offensive if it gets a chance, and it might not work too well, to be honest. If any mech could work on it, it'd be land manners, because stone's so difficult to get to, so you're not going to see any camel archers coming anytime soon. So if any map could work, like full pikes could work, it is this map indeed. But definitely, if this game's going to go any longer, I think definitely should think about rebooting behind it, which involves buying stone to age up. Obviously, cav archers. No point in going camel archers. Going full cav archer. That works. That works too. Finwolf has to make. The blue player has to make more knights, and now 18 on gold is now perfect enough amount number to make 3 stable knights. So yeah, sorted out the gold economy. Yeah, perfect enough to keep making knights, and I feel like that should have been happening earlier, just to keep the push going, rather than having to resort to full pikes. That is not a hole for those knights aren't going to find like damage there in that gold mine. A couple go down from those spears. Very difficult to cast a POV, but it's sort of working. Yeah, blue player's now trying to work out if Finn's boomed elsewheres. That monastery's going to go down. Oh, there's a gold mine. That's free. Now those military's going to take it. I think Finn has to respect that and think about taking that, but not currently coming back. And there we have it. GG. Let's pause the video there. Otherwise we keep going. GG. Yeah, had a choice whether to keep attacking with the military or pull back and help defend. And maybe Finn was thinking that it's just going to be full archers. Yeah, maybe think it was just going to be full archers. And not full pike. Why did I say full archers? Maybe thinking about being full pike, and then thinking not going to make any more knights. Then don't have to worry about home. But then Finmouth didn't think about blue had the eco to make more knights. That's a very quick cast, but unfortunately it had to be done because the replay bugged. So we're on to game 4, and we're now on to game 4, which is low tide. So hopefully, fingers crossed that this will work. So low tide, we'll pause it and we'll think about the Civ. And we'll take a breath because I've been speaking very quickly to cover that very quickly cast game. And we'll think about the cast. So we're back in the cast, we're back in the proper cast. So we've had Berber versus Frank, so both of those are no longer options. So low tide. I mean, we said before that Lithuanians are the sort of standard. I think they're the one you punt for. It's something that I like to see, and they're very common in low tide to see Lithuanians. In return, what do we see? Celts, they have a really good man-at-arm push, longsword push. Incas, Goths a bit too open for Goths. Incas, sort of want some stable options just in case. And Celts do get knights and scouts. Teutons or Celts, I think. Celts, if they want to go full swords, could work. Could definitely work against Lithuanians. It'd be quite an evil strat to go full longsword. We've seen it before in this tournament. Teutons to countermatch Lithuanians. I mean, if Lithuanians versus Teutons, who wins? I think it's the Teutons with their conversion resistance, to be honest. Lithuanians like to do their knight monk play, and Teutons get the stronger cavalry, and and monks don't do as much damage. So if anything's going to beat Lithuanians, it's going to be Teutons. And if you're thinking Teutons are going to be, what do you pick against Teutons? It's all hard to be Lithuanians as well, because Poles aren't a good low tide civ, because the Folvark, you have to put it on the fish, and I don't think you can fit it on the fish. That's the thing. It's not big enough to fit, so you have to sort of offset it a bit, and then it's very open. You have to build farms. It's low tide now. So let's do low tide game 4. It's going to be if the set doesn't cast, and hopefully it does cast. This one casts. I hope it wasn't like they played 2 games before the patch and they played games after the patch, and all the ones after the patch are going to be broken. If that's the case, we're just going to be watching Blue's YouTube, and I still have it in front of me if we need to resort to that. But hopefully this one works. Fingers crossed that this will work as well. I think I saw one of the, I also tried to watch a game which bugged out, and Boo was saying in the Discord that it's been a common problem. Yeah, but yep. So without further ado, we'll crack on because that lost us a bit of time. So it's Teutons Lithuanians. So we're right with Lithuanians. We saw that before, that blue player in their civ. The maps left were Fosse and Low Tide and Land Madness. That those were the civs you should think about. Like think about Franks for Land Madness, Lithuanians for Low Tide, and then Poles for Fosse. So that's currently the blue player's track. Okay, we'll stick a 1 for blue player because they did win game 4, game 3. So we're now on Low Tide. Fun things about Low Tide. Well, eight herdables, but you can't scout with them because these wood piles are guy units and they break they convert the units back. So you have to send your goats to the TC. Obviously, they can your geese can accidentally start next to the wood piles and never be converted. I think until the wood pile gets destroyed. But yeah, this is the commonly reable match. Commonly reable. Although my only rematch I've done was because goats got bugged on hyper random, which is very weird. But yeah, goats come back with hyper random because deep fish are also guy units that can convert geese, which is a very interesting thing as well. Which I didn't expect. If a goat spawns on like a shallows with fish, then it is unconvertible, which is very weird. And I'm sure that me and Boris are well aware of that because one of our matches got read because of that. It's not a spoiler because that won't be cast because it's a re. I don't think Dark will bother casting that because it was read, but as an FYI, yeah. So yeah, geese go home to the town centre. You start with 2 elephants, always on the right hand side or left hand side, on the outside of your base, and never on the inside. Wood piles, usually 1 inside, 1 outside. It's always good to lumber camp the closest to your enemy. So that's the best idea because that means you can eat that all in Dark Age, and then become Feudal Age camps you have a bit more protectable and resource. It's always good. This is a very wood intensive game, Low Tide. You only have to think about your wood. You only start with these 2 wood piles. They have 1,000 wood each. We've passed the 238 bar mark anyway, so this wreck might not. I just worried myself that this wreck is also bugged out. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, I almost said it went past 238, which one the other, but it's 258 with this one bugged. So let's talk about the map gen before we go to Blue's YouTube and go back to it. Yeah, so we have 2 wood piles. We have to think about the wood in the north at some point. You start with 2,000 wood near your base, and you have to go off to it. Game of very vulnerable resources. We're very annoyed about this bug. Another wreck that bites the dust. You don't really dock on this map. If you see a dock, it'd be unlikely. Anything with the Lithuanians would because they get the extra wood to start off with. So the extra food to start off with, which means they can go early on wood. But Low Tide is such a difficult map. So that's very annoying that this broke again. So let's open the YouTube again. Back to the YouTube it is. Okay. So where we are, 1 minute 16. Okay, we see blue scouting around looking for the sheep. We'll go a bit faster because we got to 258 last time. We keep going a bit. It's really annoying that the expo, but at least we have a POV to cast. Otherwise, we'd just be right in the dark about what to do. So thanks to B for casting his point of view. Maybe people should maybe find a way of have alternate things if this is going to be a problem. I'll send a report for all the wrecks that broke it. It's possible that the first 2 games were done before the patch, and these 3 were done after the patch. Before and after the patch. I don't think I said the right way around. But blue's time, the right side, yeah, getting one of the elephants in. Thinking about sending a village down to mill the turtle is always a good idea. To do some milling. Scouting resources. It's fairly peaceful Dark Age. The horses can't push, the horses can't attack. So it ends up being very peaceful Dark Age, and then we'll see if we see any men-at-arms. Men-at-arm tower, I wouldn't be surprised if Finn does that. That is a speciality, it seems. And with a tower rush civ like Teutons with ×2 garrisoning, 3 murder holes. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some tower play by them. Let's have a quick drink. I won't be surprised if we see tower rush by the Teutons, yeah. And maybe blue should think about putting some on stone just in case that happens. You get quite a lot of stone in this map. You get a lot of patches of 1 stone near the water, and you get a big 5 near you, around you as well, and some in the back, I think. We'll just keep this going. Going Loom, going Feudal Age, fast Feudal. Obviously, it's very too risky to go for a fast caster strat here. Scout play is the meta. So many undefended resources. It's difficult to protect them all, and often you lose. But we can see that Finwolf is only just building the barracks now, so potentially not going for man-at-arms. But Blues this time is actually tracking the barracks. In the game 1, they didn't track the barracks, didn't track the man-at-arms. But using the horse to track them is a good idea. I think that's Finwolf's horse there by his own barracks, trying to do is counter-track. But I don't think any men-at-arms are coming from either player at this point in time. Whether that changes, whether Finwolf makes them, we'll find out soon enough. Yeah, it's very annoying that we can't see what Finn's doing. So yeah, but we see Blue Pair going to the north, finding some wood in the north, a nice safe lumber camp. Bit out of the way. Out of the way is always good, so it makes it hard to see. We definitely saw some activity in the base. So we saw another red dot. I think that might have been a villager building another building, or blacksmith popping up or something like that next to the barracks. I can't 100% tell, can't see. Something popped up next to the barracks. I don't think there's any, but there's no men at arms yet. If so, they would have maybe come by now. Well, definitely blue would have seen them. Relic wise, 5 relics, 1 always in the middle. That's fairly standard there because we just saw going back past the relic. We'll see scout play most likely. Spears are always a good idea as well. I'm not sure. I'm surprised why. Yeah, finally making some spears. You always get faster spears as the Lithuanians, and as well as you can kill the horse. They can kill the poor little horse with spear. It just legs it. Soon as it saw that maybe a spear was in production, legs it. We see some scouts now. 3 scouts. That's probably double. That's the least double stable production there by Finwolf. Triple scouts. Yeah. Oh, lovely quick wall. But I always like be scared about quick walling him. But that's such a good quick wall. It's such a difficult thing to quick wall these turtles. But really well done there by Blue to quick wall the turtle. That's so important. And yeah, all the resources at the moment that Blue player is taking is very close to each other. All the ones in gold are close, the ones in wood are close. I think first maybe trying to find more damage in the north, see if the lumber camp's been taken, because you can see that there's no lumber camp on the wood pile to the east. So blue player rightly walling in their wood piles. Do we see a Vil kill? I don't think we see a Vil kill. It's very difficult. I can't tell if there's been a Vil kill, unfortunately. But I don't think there's been one yet. And blue player's on the defensive, so we won't see any yet. Currently on the defensive. We'll see if that changes as blue player gets scouts, find some things to hit. Keep tracking the scouts. Now gone onto the second wood pile. Yeah. Good. There's always a good number on wood. Yeah, 4 is not quite enough on wood, unfortunately. But the scouts find it. The scouts find and we see a Vil go down. Do we see another one? Okay, blue. That's really good to save the weak villas. Only says one of the weak villas there. Lost another vill. These scouts could have forging for all we know. I can't tell. It's just under 1400 Edo Krita. Finrelf should be 1400 if he isn't in game, and blue players are probably around there as well. Finrelf's very much a smurf. Well, I don't like playing too much ranked these days, to be honest. I feel like I'm a bit too busy to play ranked, and I definitely will be busy soon. Interesting Palisade Gate. Yeah, there's nothing in the T. There's nothing in the TC to garrison anyway, so it's not going to work. It's not going to work too well to scare. Lost another Ville, so definitely Finrelf's definitely on the offensive with all this damage, and blue player hasn't found any damage with the scouts. She hasn't found any resources being taken. You would think there'd be something, some wood being taken in the north, but not found yet. So maybe it might be in blue player's favour, because if Finrelf hasn't gone wood yet, it's going to dangerously run out of wood. Okay, there it is. Finrelf's finally gone wood and completely unwalled. This might lost one. Three more should die unless it becomes saved by a scout. But yeah, all those die. Try to get a quick wall in, but not going to work. Not against that many scouts. It's not going to work. Definitely blue plays favour. I think the EKD is fairly even, but that's a lot. That's not. Finland's not having many villages on wood at all, and the score is so much in blue players' favour. I'm not sure how the score is. I think it must just be exploration, maybe military count. I think the spears. I don't know how many spears that Finrelf has made in return. Okay, we see the extra Ville die. Unfortunately, that's sad news. I don't know what that was doing. The Finrelf's up to Castle Age quite cleanly. Thinking about knights, we'll see how many gold. We haven't seen how much on gold because Blue hasn't scouted it, but we'll see how many knights go in production. And this is where spears sort of die a bit. And also Blue didn't have another save, they didn't have a second stable up in time, only just making a stable, which definitely favour Finrelf. I definitely think Teuton's going long game. Teuton is definitely the better sieve, but I think. That's a hole. That's a hole there, Blue. There's a hole. You're attacking around the palisade. You're surrounding that palisade. That's a hole. You can walk through there. Oh, that could have been all the lumberjacks died if you saw that. So unfortunate. Triple stable. Well, triple stables, but not really producing any. He doesn't have the food to produce out of a TC and stables. But going for bloodlines, going for second armor. Probably more important going for second armor. You know that Teuton Knight's always going to have extra melee armor anyway, so trying to make it even. It's a bit of a resource cost, 250 food, 200 gold, but it's probably well worth it. I was just going to lose every single engagement possible. Yeah, late GI ignore armor. Will we see any late GI? I don't know. We can't tell because we can't see. Well, we can tell. It's blue on stone. Blue's not on stone. I forgot who was Lithuanians, but yeah, late GI can't ignore armor. So that would be an interesting unit to switch into. But you can just use. Yeah, we'll see what students have to do in response to that. But yeah, blue's not on stone. So yeah, trying to find some damage inside. There's no TC yet for either player in the north. It's one TC all in again, and well, we saw last game that favoured blue player. That favoured blue's strategy going 1 TC all in on Lad Madness. Okay, so now we see a TC boom. That horse is that's only the horse, by the way. If people are aware, I think that's just Finrelf's horse rather than any knights that are a bit confused. So we see some knight engagements definitely in favour of blue player there. That's a big knight clear up. But yeah, I think it was a big night clear up, but then all the reinforcements came. Finrelf came with reinforcements first, and before blue player could get theirs in, and now blue players have come in. Then maybe that will reverse clear up in favour of blue, but we'll see if any more reinforcements come in. So with 2 CCs, only producing out of 1 yet, probably trying to get there. Okay, never mind, GG's called, okay. I don't know I couldn't see why the GG was called, we didn't see why Finrelf was dying, but Finrelf walled themselves in again. Look at the map, in the mini-map, you can see that Finrelf has walled themselves in again on a map which really doesn't like to do it. I think that's such a spend of wood, that is. It's GG, yeah. It's just such a big spend of wood. Palisade walls are cheap, but they still cost, and that's probably like 60 Palisade walls. That's almost 200 wood, I think. I can't remember how much Palisade costs. That's about 200 wood cost. And that's a lot of expenses to work on, which weren't even necessary in the end. I don't think blue players saw any of those walls, because we could vaguely see his scouting. I don't think he ever bothered to see that. He went for the wood. He recognised that this was a game of lumberjacks, and stops. I think it's sorry, I'm not good at low tide, so stopping that wood strat I think is such an important thing. Just don't care about if they can get free gold and free tiles all they like. Just stop them getting the wood, and then they have no game. Maybe you could wall out the entire north of the map. That'd be such a bold play just to wall out the entirety of the north, like palisade wall across the map. But yeah, I think people would like to have palisade walls, but I think they're a bit too expensive. Ironically, they're expensive because that's such a big wood investment, and a game which is very wood short, and they were so late to the lumber camp in the north because we could see that on blue scouting that we weren't able to get it. It's a good map, very clean maps. Definitely gone for a game 5. And we have to hope that it works. We'll close the window. Nope, that's how we do it. So we're on game 5. That. Game 5. We've had Lithuanians beat Teutons. We didn't see many Teutons either. Not enough unique. You're 100% right. Not enough unique units. On this map, was actually a map that has stone, but obviously didn't get that far. So Le Grand Fossé, I think Poles are going to be Le Grand Fossé Civ. Because if you get all the good resources close to you, you can get like extra stone, tower rushness. Celts could work, Goths, all those civs could work on Fossé, but do we see... I want to see Incas picked. I've cast a lot of people where people have drafted Incas. I've never seen them picked for anything. I think this is the sort of chance where you get to see some really good... I think if anything, against Poles, you think Poles are going to be coming, Incas are the option. Against Vikings, maybe, because obviously you have Slingers which do well against Berserk and any minute arms. I think I want to see Incas. I want to see Slingers. I just want to see Slingers. Let me see some Slingers. Anyway, let me leave the map. Click through all the error replaying game. It's really weird what that does. World time just increases in increments of 13 until I can. I hope this is not going to take 6 years. Okay. Okay, I managed to how long it takes. Let's see if game 5 works. Game 5 is Fossé, obviously, the last home map. So Blue's pick of picking Finmore's home map first, it's got to a game 5 anyway. So I want to see Incas. I really want to see Incas. They're really good against Poles. Vietnamese, maybe if he tries against Vietnamese, but you don't think they're coming for Fossé. They're not a good Fossé civ. Vikings could work on Fossé, and Incas do okay against them. So I want to see Incas. I really do. I don't know. I just want to see some Slingers, man. See some Slingers. Let's quickly reveal because we don't have time. If it breaks, we don't have time. It's Incas Poles. Yes, Incas. We see Incas. Start with an extra llama. We'd love to see it. I might just whiz through and I'm going to whiz through. I'm actually going to go just ×8 to be honest, because I just want to. If it breaks, we're just going to have to go back to the YouTube. Start with 3 boars, lots of laning opportunities. Early lumber camp for Poles. You think about straggler teams that both players have gone for a really early lumber camp. Okay, we're at 3 minutes 30. This rec might be working, so we'll keep going. I might accidentally murray myself immediately. And just immediately breaks, but it's past both what the other maps were doing. So let's go back on 1 speed, and we don't have to worry about going back to the YouTube. But if Blue Player's watching, thanks to YouTube. It's very helpful. Very helpful to have the YouTube there, just so I could just see the vague gist of the games, even though I was running through them at times 1.75 speed, well, muted with only half vision. But thanks for having the games, Blue. If you are around to see it. Thanks for having that available. I obviously watch Blue Player's VODs. He has his own commentary for them. Watch Blue Player. I'll write that in the Twitch chat as well. Watch Blue Player's VODs. And yep, sorry, I'm just going to do some admin stuff. Sorry, I'm gonna put Blue's channel in the chat as well. That's Blue Player's channel. So feel free to watch as well, because he's been a really, really big help. Without him knowing, because he's probably asleep now, because I believe he is Australian. Anyway, back to the game. But we see some boards being lamed. Both players are keeping the gate open. You don't need to keep the gate open. I always say this. You don't need to. It's always a good peace of mind. But the boars will follow you through at a good timing. Because they're faster than a villager, they will follow the villager through quite nicely. Yeah. Keeping with the stouts, probably ways of scouts. Keeping with the cows, probably the better idea, to be honest, by Finmouth. I like keeping it open with a cow. Better than a scout, because you want to be a bit more evil with a scout. Yeah, and blue player has stopped. Lost a bit of scout damage. There was definitely a scout fight earlier on, which I missed. Yeah, there's definitely a scout interaction, probably to stop a lure. Incas, an essential American civ, eagles are the perfect boar lurers, so yeah, potentially Brimwolf did a lure while I wasn't paying attention and tried to stop it. Maybe it was successful, I do not know. I don't think looking at Blue Play's food income, it probably wasn't successful. And I don't think Blue Play is brave enough to try the same in return, but yeah. There's no more boars left to take. Finwolf's Eagle Scout's going to not be used, but going for Loom, quite an early Loom that is, because I guess it could. Okay. Yeah, Finwolf's got a lot on fish. That's too many on fish. That's a saturated fish pond here. That's not a good number on fish. But yeah, forcing food under, not quite enough yet. Now enough to go. So 21 pop. Whereas poles, it looks like a 22 pop. There's a bit hazy there. Bit slow. Bit of an idle TC time, but not as much as Finwolf. Finwolf's definitely had a messier start. Eagle tries to be a bit more annoying. That's an interesting goal patch. That's interestingly close. Eagle trying to be a bit annoying. It's now very low HP. Scout's also very low HP. They're not going to do much. But like I said earlier in the game, I mean, we were discussing our games that we've played, us in the chat here in Group 3, which most of my watchers are my fellow groups and grades. Like, I think it's always good to know which way the stone is and which way the stone isn't. And I always think about, if need be, protect your expansion to the stone, whether it's with military, which are with towers, and also if you're attack via the stone. So if you wants to put a tower, I think it's a tower here rather than a tower here, for example, because you want to deny access to the stone, because this is quite boring. Some wood lines, some gold. You have those behind you, some wood lines and some gold. So yeah, and you have some here as well. So denying this, like, what is this? It's 20 patches of stone. 20 patches of stone. Denying your opponent access to that is going to be so crucial in late game. You only have enough stone here for just about a castle, and you have 2 TCs on the castle with a stone here. So if a game goes into towers, you have to go into another stone. And stone in the back's enough, and that's only 1 castle's worth of stone here, back here as well. And there's no more stone on the map that you have access to. So denying your opponent this stone is so crucial. And if you're a castle civ, like Incas, like Poles, they both like their castles. I feel like whoever denies this side first is going to be the victor. And it's tricky to see a game which hasn't of taking the position on this flank. But let's see the scouting. Blue player knows where the stone is. Finmouth does not have 100% idea. I think you could just about judge because you can see this patch here. So, oh yeah, Finmouth does see the stone. So both players know where the stone is. So it'll be really interesting to see, like, thinking about the games, thinking about the tactics. Will you deny this? Will you deny the stone? What we see here is by archers. Does anyone else predict archers here for poles? It's an interesting play. I don't dislike it. Poles get fully upgraded arbalest, except the final archer armor, I believe. I think they get everything else. I think they get thumb ring. I think they get. Well, that's the only upgrade of any importance to archers, like outside of archery. I think they get thumb ring. Yeah, they get thumb ring. They get chemistry. Obviously, everyone gets chemistry. Everyone gets ballistic. So they get fully upgraded arms, except the final archer armor. So I think it's such an important thing to, like. They do get good archer options. But then Incas, they could get skirmishers. All the Central America civs get a unique tailor benefit skirmishers. Incas is heroic trade javeliners, which means they don't have any minimum range, which is very good against archers because some way of beating skirms is just hiding under them. But we only see one archer. So one archer play, but it's a 2-range play from the Inca player, and Incas get fully upgraded arbalest. I think, do they get? I'm just checking back. I'm really bad at working out which text civs get, which aren't just like easily seen in capture. If I had my own capture, I'll definitely like prioritize other texts. I definitely wouldn't prioritize things like ballistics because I feel like it's a given, or something like. Yeah, I definitely think about some of the weirder texts, like chemistry and some of the. Yeah, they get Thumb Ring. Yeah, they get fully upgraded Arbalest, completely fully upgraded Arbalest, though. With Doity and Archer War, and if in Archer the Incas are better off. They just are, because they're in late game. But obviously there's the things they think about, like Poles get such a good gold, they get better gold collection because of the stone. So it's always something to think about. They get, so it means that their stone better in play for tower, but the Incas get cheaper towers. So both players have very interesting attitudes towards how you play against archers. And we see Finrod going for heavy archer play, 10 archers fletching, 3 archers defense, no fletching. If fletching comes in, that can be starting to get a bit more annoying for blue players' wood collection. But we definitely see blue players thinking about Castle Age. Bit of idle time on the fields. These fishermen have run out onto the stone. There's a lot of food here, a lot of food for thinking about Castle Age, but not a lot of gold, and no market yet. So we always see a market like placed like somewhere here. But I do not know. But as I said earlier, whoever dominates this side, the stone side, might win the game. And currently it's Finrod who's got the archers on that side. But the more attention that Finrod gives blue player, the more thing that blue player has a chance to sort of counteract that and get some tempo on that side as well. We see the first Vilco of the game. This tower's getting denied, unfortunately. Not enough vills in this castle, and we see some vills coming up for their own tower. I don't know why I said castle there. Sorry, just thinking. Sorry, I guess my mind got distracted by a second. We see a tower here from the Inca player. This tower's not going to be enough. Might have to think about deleting that. Try and deny this push coming through. If this works, that'd be really definitive. But I think the towers. It's difficult to tower rush the poles because they're pretty much always going to be on stone. And now we see the Castle Age coming in. And look at Finwell. Castle Age must be clicked behind it. No, it's not. Finwell's got no food to click up. Forever feudal here, 300 wood. Only just sealing some more farms. Like, archers don't really work too well in Fossé, especially against stuff like the Polos because of the tower play. And now we see the market defense. I like that. Market has defense. Yeah, the army's in, but I definitely would like to see this tower deleted because then you could make another one. You can make another 2 towers if that was deleted. Okay, another tower coming up. Will they delete that tower? It's going to be built quick by the poles. Look at all these vills on it. Can't click it to the bloody tower, yeah. Oh, I could do this, can't I? Nope, that's the market. Yeah, the Polish tower's going to be built first. More vills on it. And then you could delete the wall, and you could delete the walls and rush it at this point, almost. If the archers weren't there, you could delete the walls and rush it. And if the archers do run away, you could definitely think about rushing it. Another vill died. Another vill died for blue. But Finrod's lost a vill. Must have been to the ball. Must have been a very late ball then, because it wasn't there for a long while. And I wish I had seen that. Finrod, you're very sneaky to lure in a ball in feudal age, so I couldn't see that you lost a vill to it. But more pole vills die. Ironic, because pole vills are some of the longest, the most resilient vills in the game. That vill I don't know what they wanted to do. Had enough of life, I think. But look at the eco. Eco leads so much in favour of blue player, but the blue players at the castle, and Finrod is not making any more vills. Like 42 vills in feudal age is a lot of vills, and still none on food. It's all in feudal age. It's very brave to do it on this map because it's a closed map. Once towers come up, you can't do anything in feudal age to it. Look at this market manipulation. Selling wood, selling all the wood, buying food, and still not enough. Had to make another vill, but also gain like 40 seconds of idle time. This is definitely blue players' court. If they can get some, and now they've got the momentum on this side of the field, like Finrod's having to move all the army round to the wrong side of the map. This is the right side of the map to pressure on. And now you've let blue player take this area. Run down your towers, run down your other towers, and your archers aren't even there to pretend. Your archers are off here in the middle of nowhere. And I think because this tower's an excellent tower just to pretend the counter lane. One thing about blue players, downside, it's got none on wood yet. Forgot about that. This tower's garrison for no reason. Okay, this on the vills come here. Stop putting the tower down. Mangonel's out though. A good Mangonel. I mean, it's very dangerous killing your own villager here. Yep, blue player kills their own villager. Interesting. Now the eco KD's vaguely fairer. Does that count as your own eco KD? It's hard to. I can't. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah. Very strange. But yeah, now the towers are down. There's knights on the field. There's scouts. Castle Angels coming in at least a good time. Infantry armor. Will we see 21 and go? That's an eagle play if ever I saw one. And second barracks come out. Ideally a third for eagle play. Not much on food. Eagle play. We will see indeed. One thing that beats eagle. Well, you can see by the 8 on stone. There's one thing that does beat eagle, and we saw it in game 1. And that's Obuch. We didn't get to see a Polish mirror, unfortunately. We'll get to see a Polish. We might see double Obuch on different games. You see the Vils coming here for a castle, a bit early for a castle. Having to buy a stone, still a bit early. Ran out of stone. All the towers they ran out of stone to mine. These are taking the special stone. TC there will be absolutely amazing, but got the Vils on stone, building the castle. I mean, I would love to see more, but the Mangonel's enough. Mangonel's enough there to keep that castle up with only 5 production. Has anyone in chat's been a bit dry? If anyone wants to like chat and think about the games, what would you think about this position? You see a eagle play versus Polish potential Obuch. Doesn't look good in Finn versus Silver, does it? I think Blue's play was very wise to wait. Very, very good game sense. Not just like in the games, but the entirety of the draft. Like saving your polls till last. Sort of, I could argue for they're one of their best maps for it. May have lost a Gajara pick, but also picking your opponent's home map as game 2. I have never get as a polls to be honest. I always get a bit. I think I just had unfortunate. I don't think I just get overrun as polls. But now I'm good enough. Now I'm better as Fosse. I think. Yeah, because I had that victory as Sicilians, I think I've now found like a more wheelhouse to play as Pole because I had like Donjon Defense, which was good against Lawler. Like I did Donjon Defense, which is even better than Tower Defense. So yeah, I think I'm now more experienced if saying that I could probably do Poles just and sort of if King Boo was around there, like they love Poles for this map. But now don't see any Obuch yet because we just see crossbows yet. We haven't seen the Eagles haven't seen the light of day yet. I think. Don't think that blue players seen Eagle. So against the Mangonel, oh look at these crossbows die. The sad thing about castles is when a castle starts attacking something, the units often get dragged in to try and kill the castle, which is not the wisest thing in the universe. Like I don't want to kill the castle; it's much bigger than me. I'm only a wee crossbow. If blue can keep the pressure out with pushing the Mangonel, it's difficult to Incans to defeat that because Eagles can't deal with Mangonels as well as Knights can. And look, we have so much. I mean, I think you just wait till Schlagter, honestly. Get the food and gold to get Schlagter privileges, and then just go even more Knights. You just have to keep making military at this point. Forward stable. There's an overchop. Oh, this could be GG. We do see the Eagles here at the end, but I think this is more. Okay, no Vils died here. It was an overchop, but all the Vils protected. Good vision there. But the Knights go round. Oh, they won't go. They'll just engage. Okay. Okay, they're not going to engage. If they went round, they would spot that gold here. But let's keep an eye on the counter raid. These Eagles are only +1 armor. They're not forging, so they won't love a TC. But there aren't many videos of us on the TC, and I think Finland's getting some good. Got a good build pick there. So a build pick probably shouldn't have deserved. We do see an Obuch. The one's on the field. Trying to rush down this tower. I think the Vils beat the Eagles here with their healing, but the Vils are just not bothering. I feel like, yeah, the Vils just... Okay, all the Knights are coming back to deal with it. I don't love to see all the Knights come back. I would like to see, like, just the more passive, like, just send the reinforcements to kill. It's a bit overkill. To stop your entire push just to deal with a couple of Eagles. Now they're +2 Eagles, I can see why there might be a bit more of a threat, but now they're all dead. You don't need 3 Knights, you didn't need 10. No more new TCs. Incas aren't making anyone anytime soon, but blue player could make a TC, and TC in the stone would be really nice. I don't remember if I saw Schlagter in. Someone who has to say if they saw Schlagter because I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the raids. I don't think so because we've only seen Scale By. I think Scale By is definitely the more important armor upgrade to come first. Oh, Finn was saying, do you have Schlagter? I'm man of my on my own mind. Yeah, I think Finn was like, if it was no, he's going to resign. But he could have lied. He could have lied about Schlagter. Because there's not much knight spam. I guess I could see how much when he makes a knight, how much it costs. Difficult to tell with all these resources. When a knight gets made, yeah, GG's called. Never mind. Doesn't need Schlachter in the end. Sometimes you just don't need Schlachter if he goes. But yeah, GG. Yeah, blue play. They're both like the 1-2 TC, and quite what time I didn't need it per se. Thought it was going to go later, but Finland didn't make any pikes. No pikes in return. Just trying to go eagle. Even some slingers for deal with the Obuch, which would work. But yeah, the knights are the bigger threat. So GG, counter sweep. We see the counter sweep. Excellent counter sweep here by blue player. Not what you would expect. This after seeing Poles beat Gujaras, one of the best, arguably the best in the game, and on see Poles beat Gujaras, and then see such a like a clear like domination on Nomad. Koreans like absolutely destroy Spanish on arguably their home map, Spanish home map. It's such a good counter sweep by blue, and arguably just sort of wearying Finwolf out, making like ever so slightly just slowly sort of like having such a good civ draft. I think that's very good. Like what's the famous ever civs? Celts and Goths. They aren't good civs to pick really on any of the maps. I mean, I think Celts could have been a good low tie, but I don't think Finwolf likes the like heavy swords play like Lever would do, which is also this group. I believe Lever's in this group as well. I think we might cast one of those next time I cast, which will be somewhere maybe sometime this week to cast Lever's game. And like something like they really like their sword play, but I don't think that's in Finn's Wilhelm, despite having very heavy sword play civs. So yeah, in this game in particular, it's difficult to go full archers on this map because as soon as the opponent gets towers, it's over. And then you're against poles, and to try and force towers against poles is just not. It's just going to hurt you in the long run because they can make towers better than you. Sorry, have a quick drink at the end. So yeah, they can make towers better than you poles can because they like to collect stone because it gives them gold. So going archers in this map is so difficult to justify unless you could unless you could back it with siege, and it was only in feudal age. You can't get siege in feudal age. It's solid archers, and this blue player was very patient under the pressure and get to castle age at a good decent time, and then get some knights on the field, and also to America says suffer with knight. Incas are the best answer against knights because they have Kamiuks. If you spend all your stone on towers, you've got no more to build any castles with. And like I think the main misplay with the archers was dragging them over here, keeping the archers on this side of the map. I think may have saved Finwolf there, may have saved them, because you deny the stone, you deny this push here, like blue paper because obviously blue papers also had to spend towers and well didn't have any stone themselves, so went here, but put there perfectly safely with no worry whatsoever. And all the archers were 19 archers were over here on the map, and I had to slowly walk away. And by the time they got here, knights were back, and a mangonel was in production. I think if you get some archers here, keep your army this side, maybe some eagles protect against mangonels, because you saw they were in Castle Age, but definitely keep this side of the map. For same players in the future, if you're looking for advice, what advice I can give you is the stone side of the map is the important side. It's a side which you should hold, which you should push from, but definitely which you should hold and keep a presence there at all times. When it's just a tower here, just to stop any shenanigans, or be a prize of shenanigans should they arise. But anyway, that's the cast. I mean, it was a long one, but they're very quick games. To play so many games, all 5 games in like 3 hours or whatever. Luckily, this game worked. Fortunately, yeah, two of the games didn't work. I'll send a report when I feel bothered to. But yeah, it was a good game all around. If anyone wants anyone to raid, let me know. If anyone's in chat wants anyone to raid. Otherwise, I'll just pop out and be on with my day. And everyone have a good day. And thank you for coming. And an upset. Well, not really upset. I mean, it's not an upset because Finwolf is a bit of a smurfy. It was legendary in the Discord for being a bit of a smurf. So had their nose pegged a bit. So yeah, thanks for coming, and a goodbye to all.